deep bass opening up. Duh. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to News on the Flipside. You're sitting here with Joe, Sean, and Jay. It's kind of weird. We might have to give Sean a new name tonight. You know, when it's two J's and one S, sometimes we got to change shit around. It's the other Sean is Jack, man. So look, and he's a strange fellow when he's Jack too. You gotta watch him. He's extra. He's extra special. We'll say he's out tonight. He's kind of sort of vacationing. I hope everyone really is having a good night or a good morning or good evening, wherever you're listening to us from. I know we go around the world, so for the people who are having their coffee going, why am I listening to this asshole this early in the morning? Good morning to you. And don't call me that kind of, I'm a really nice guy. You don't need to cuss me. Was it Glinda? Oh, yeah. I don't know what time it is in India right now. We're airing. I know in Europe, in Europe, it's like 5 a.m. For like England and France, and then it just gets later after that, earlier, I should say. Well, they're 6 hours ahead of us, or 6 hours ahead of where I'm broadcasting from. It's 9 o'clock here, so. Well, we like our friends over there. Actually, I think it's like 4 a.m. over there. But no, they like to stay up and listen to us. I imagine they've had a couple of shots, a couple of pints, and they're going, yeah, let's listen to these guys. They're going to be real assholes somewhere through the night. And well, we're allowed to curse on this show. You do know it does say, technically somewhere it says for 21 and over. Actually, I had it for 25 and over, but somebody told me I couldn't do that. So I was like, all right, I'll take it down. And, well, because, really and truly, for you young Z-Geners, and you're not even Z-Geners at 20 now, are you? Something else.
It's millennials. It's millennials. Z-Geners are probably fine. It's the millennials.
Well, I'm just thinking they're not going to really understand a lot of it because it's really... It's some of the stuff we talk about. Matter of fact, a friend of mine who's a Z the other day she goes, Joe, what are you talking about? I said, I keep forgetting you weren't around when some of these inventions, because we were talking about no cell phones. And she's like, what did y'all do without cell phones? I said, we had this thing called a pager. And she's like, a what? I said, a pager. She was, what the hell is a pager? I said, people had your number and they could page you. She said, well, why couldn't they just text you? I was like,
basically, that's what it is. It's hey, call this number. Hey, what's up?
I said, believe it or not, it was too complicated. She's like, no, And I said, then they did have cell phones in the beginning. They were in people's cars, but they were real phones in somebody's car.
They were giant.
Yeah, they were giant. They were huge, and big, huge antenna on the back of the car. It's and they had cell phones. They could talk to other people. I don't know how many had at the time, but a good friend of mine did. He had a Lincoln, a Mark IV, looked like a Pitmobile. He had all this stuff inside, and these fuzzy things hanging. His really nice cell phone, and then a couple other real nice amenities for back in the day, which was we had a pop out bar in the back. I was like, damn, man, you living it up here. But today that's a joke. My cell phone got more power than freaking all of NASA did for its first 5 incarnations, for sure. People, I'm serious.
Remember standing in line back in the day?
Oh God, yeah.
It was torture. Like you could not.
Someone zigzag back and forth until you got to the front, but
you didn't have something to play with, though. You didn't have that, like.
Yeah, you were just hoping your friends weren't too drunk to talk to you.
Dancer. We used to actually break dance in front of the people who were standing in line for the movie theater.
So Fran,
I'm not making that up. That's a real story.
So Fran, in the old days, Fran, no, stop. You couldn't get online tickets. Oh no. You had to get there. So the tickets went on sale. You got there 3 days before they got on sale, and you got
yes.
Any later than that, your ass was all the way to the back, and you weren't getting any damn tickets.
Well, they had a lot more scalpers back then.
Yeah, they had a lot more scalpers back then too. And there'd be people scalping them on the side. It's and then finally they decided to start putting limits on how many tickets you could buy because people would get up there and buy 100 tickets, 500 tickets, 1,000 tickets, and do just what Sean was saying. They'd be out scalping them 3 times what they were going for. And easy. People just so they didn't have to stand in line. They were willing to pay it just not to have to stand in the line. It was a nightmare. And I remember the gas lines. I remember we made a lot of money doing the gas lines, just bringing people's cars. I was just waiting to go in the Navy, and we'd go pick up 4 or 5 cars and we'd put them in line. It was 4 of us working, and we'd have 15, 18 cars out there just rotating around as we're going along. Because it took forever, and then one day you had evens, one day you had odds. So we did it 5 days a week because actually they didn't. And we have a lot of gas down here, and they were still being strict with it. I was like,
I remember that. I was just a kid, but you could only gas up if your license plate ended on an odd day.
Yes, y'all were just babies.
Yeah, it was so weird times.
What year was that?
70,
73.
No, 70. Like, let's see. Hold on, I'll tell you exactly. No, it couldn't have been 73 because I'd only been 10. I couldn't have drove. It was.
I was little. I was 6, 7, 8. 15, I wasn't that old.
I think I was 15 at the time, 15 or 16 at the time.
So 78?
Somewhere 77, 78, somewhere around there.
Oh, maybe, yeah. And, I would have been closer to 10.
It was just weird. Plus, tell you when we made a lot of money back in the day, every time it rained bad, New Orleans would flood. And we'd go out there with pirogues and get people out their cars and bring them back to dry land and then pull their cars out the water. Remember, in the old days, they had distributor caps. Most of the time, you could just take the distributor cap off, take your cigarette lighter, put it back on, boom, car start right the hell up, shoot water out, all exhaust and stuff, but it'd start right up. And we'd charge them $100, which people just not to have it towed, they were just unbelievably happy. And then we'd put people in the pirogue and we'd go to apartment complexes and say, would you like to go to the grocery store? We'd put them in the pirogue and roll them over to the grocery store, let them shop, and then bring them back. Yeah, we were industrious little shits. What can I say? Man, we had to make money, Mom was like, I ain't giving you no money. Shit, get out there and make it. We
shovel snow to make money in the wintertime, man.
Well, see, that's why we don't live up north. No, Denise. No, you see, that's what's wrong with kids today. Oh, no. I am as guilty as any parent out there. I know. I can't. I've given my son so much money. It's not even funny. It's not even. I even paid off 2/3 of his car. I mean, no. I mean, come on.
Mama Bear just spends my money. So that's how they've been trained not to even ask me because it's just, hey, can I? No. What about no?
That's right. That's it. Oh, it's hard, people. I mean, it's kids get spoiled. They get unspoiled eventually, but still, you got to go through all that other misery. Saying that the world's not like that. We don't have trees in the backyard. I wish we did. I wish I had some trees where I could go pick Benjis after that. I'd be a happy camper then. What's that, Denise? Oh, you're talking about Trump. I thought you were talking about what we were just talking about. No, we'll talk about Trump a little. He's so July 11th. I kept thinking it was June 11th. I was all pissed the other day. I was like, what the hell? Why are we not here? Well, I thought he was getting sentenced. I thought he was going to go to jail. And of course, it was July 11th. Okay, you want a personal opinion? I would say if they put him in jail, they're just asking for trouble that the country's not ready for, and it would allow us to be weak enough that if an enemy wanted to take advantage, it would be a good shot.
Yeah, why do you think there are Russian Navy vessels just off the coast already?
It's just if Trump comes in, the world will calm down. Putin will end the war. We'll get our hostages back in Israel. Things will change. Kim Jong-un will go back to hiding in wherever he was hiding before last time when his sister ran the country.
Well, I mean, we're already going to start to have big problems. So I mentioned this before we started, but I have to explain it a little bit more. Yeah. There was a security arrangement that we had with Saudi Arabia that lasted for 50 years. And what that arrangement was is we defend Saudi Arabia, and they denominate all barrels of oil, sell all barrels of oil in dollars. That agreement ended on Sunday. So what does that mean? That means that the international system was hugely beneficial to the US dollar and helped prop it up, because any time a country had to buy something, had to buy oil, at least the US dollars first. Yeah, they had to convert to US dollars first. Now they don't. So what that means is the demand for US dollars is naturally going to decline. And when the demand for dollars declines, the dollar depreciates. When the dollar depreciates, you have more inflation. So
yes, and thank God we don't need any more of that.
But the creepy thing about that agreement is you have to search to find that, like, it looks to me like there's a complete and utter media blackout. You would think the Wall Street Journal would even just have a feature like what are the implications for the end of the petrodollar? What's nothing, crickets. It is super creepy, which to me that translates as I just want to know what the implications are, and nobody's talking about it. It's eerie. So what that tells me is it's screaming that is like a hugely negative implication for the U.S. dollar and U.S. hegemony worldwide. So I mean, seriously, I dare you to find something. You'll find stuff,
Oh no,
but
you're not going to really find much. I noticed NBC and CBS wasn't talking about it. They were talking more about China selling off $53 million in whatever the hell they were.
UN or RMB. Oh
yeah. So I mean, they were talking more about that. So we're taking hits all over the place, but we did catch a break. So when they tried to do this BRACs or whatever this new money was going to be with China and Russia and Saudi Arabia, they didn't count on the world kicking them in the ass. They thought that they would be at the current amounts of money they were making, and then their money would really be in good shape. Right now, China's money sucks. It's floating down at the bottom. Russia's money sucks. I mean, it's pennies on the dollar. So Saudi's got to make up its mind now. Do I stay with these guys and devalue how much money I'm worth? Because under the U.S. dollar, they're worth a ton of money. If they decide to value it under this new BRACs money, they lose what 60-75% of their wealth. I can't see.
They don't have to do all or none. Like they have maximum flexibility now. They can denominate it in whatever currency they want.
Well, no, because they cut a deal with the Chinese and the Russians. They're supposed to be part of that new currency. It was 7 countries, and they were one of them. Iran was one of them too. I know it was those 4. I can't even remember who the rest of them were, but it was 7 of them that was supposed to be starting a new currency, and they were going to prop it up on China's yen because at the time China was selling to everybody around the world, Europe and the United States, and making money hand over fist and building shit all over the place, just building buildings just for the sake of building buildings. And then Trump came along and said, "Excuse me, why aren't we benefiting this from them?" They were like, "Blah blah blah." Trump said, "Boom, that goes away. Boom, that goes away. Oh shit, nope, that goes." And they found themselves, and then they tried to say, "Oh no, it's not going to hurt us." Well, here we are 4 years later, and it's murderizing. And it's not going away because Biden just added more. They can't back out of them now. And they re-sanctioned Iran, which everybody told stupid Obama, don't give Iran, let them, don't. How many billions of dollars? Was it 4 billion and 4 pounds? Is that what it was? Or 7? I knew it was. People, they paid him cash money. I mean, who? Come on.
Hard currency. 4 pounds.
Who pays cash? I mean, it's hard to get cash money out of your damn bank for more than a few $1,000s. I mean, you go there a couple times when I get contracts, I'll go to cash a check for like 100 G's, and they're like, "You want it in cash?"
Yeah, if I got caught looking at it, funny,
and I love them because they always tell me, you can transfer this electronically, right? I'm like, yeah. I said, I'm just going out. This is bonus money for guys on our sites. Oh, really? I'm like, yeah, really. And they're like, oh. I said, could you give us some envelopes with it? And they're just looking at you like, are you sure? They treat me like I got really mad one afternoon because Sam, my partner, went to go get a check.
Well, if you're in certain places in the U.S., you get mugged the instant you walk out.
Oh yeah, you would. They we always send people.
I mean, if people in the bank, they'd be calling their relatives like, "Hey, he's coming out now."
We don't never travel alone when we're carrying. Hey Joe, we don't never carry money when we're carrying money. Any kind of real money, there's always a group of us. We usually send a couple of big boys with them, but Sam went in one day to cash a $55,000 check out of our bank, which had more than that in the accounts. I mean, it was even against our own account. They should have cleared it. So they give him 5 tons of shit. And I called him up and said, "Man, you've been at the bank for like 3 hours. What's going on?" So I left the job site where I was. This is right after Hurricane Katrina. I was pissed. I was nasty, dirty. And I walked in the bank. I walked up to the president, who's a friend of mine, or the manager, who's a friend of mine. I said, "And what is going on?" I said, "I want my money." She said, "Joe, you can't." I said, "What do you mean? I can take as much cash. It's my money. If I want to take it all out of cash, I can. It's my damn money." She said, "Well, we have a thing about how much cash you can take a day." I said, "I know it's more than $55,000. And I said, she said, "Well, you don't get." I said, "No, I'm getting pissed." I said, "You know what?" I said, "Just close the account, give me all of my money. And I said, I'll take it somewhere else. Oh man, it wasn't even 8 minutes later. I had my money.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't shitting you. It wasn't even 8 minutes. They're all apologizing, sending me shit to my house, glasses and shirts and cups. I'm like, really? Do I look 12 to you? I mean, just, it was my money. Give it to me. That's why some Americans want to keep cash, because they're not as trusting. Because like when Katrina first hit, we had no access to our banks within 300 miles to where I live. Now, fortunately, I had some cash, and some of my customers had some cash. So when I called them, they said, "You're going to take care of our properties." I'm like, "Yeah." So I got cash for you, and so that way we had some serious cash so we could move around and buy stuff. Because like when we went to go get our gas, the guy at the Shell plant was only taking cash. We went and bought 4 55-gallon drums of gasoline. I think it was $1,200 for all 4 of them, and like $300. I think it probably came out to like $3 a gallon or something. But they wanted cash. Even when you went to eat, they wanted cash. And wasn't nothing else but cash. Credit. Most of the time they couldn't run into credit. There was
Well,
the
why
credit
they do
machines
that,
wasn't
right?
working.
You know why they shut it down like that, right?
Mm.
Because every bank has a reserve requirement that's based on what the Federal Reserve puts out. So they're supposed to keep some percentage of deposits on hand, but it's some small amount. It's like 5%.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
So if every single depositor demanded their money at the same time, the bank would collapse. And that's why they do things like that, to prevent runs on the bank. It's just the way the modern financial system works.
Yes, it's well, what I did was once we got settled in, because we were back in our house 3 days after the storm. Once we got settled in, I took my oldest stepdaughter. I said, "Get in the truck." I said, "We're going to go up to." We drove up to some town close to Baton Rouge. I forgot where it was, Luling or somewhere. No, it wasn't Luling. It was Gonzales. And we drove up there, hit the local big grocery store, filled the entire back of them. We spent $2,000, filled the whole entire back of my truck up. Brought it back, and while I was there, I hit my bank up. I forgot, because it was after 5, so I could only get whatever. I think it was $500 or something. But so anytime I needed money, I would send somebody up there, usually my wife, to just go up there and go get some cash out of the ATM, or go to the bank and get it, because it was only maybe a 45-minute drive or something. But it was a bitch, man. I mean, it was. I was trying to tell this to some friends of mine in California the other day. I said, "Y'all don't understand what a disaster actually is." They said, "Oh no, there's never any time you're going to be without lights and internet." I'm like, "What?" Or cell service. I'm like, "What?" I said, "We were without cell service for 4 months."
I went to Hurricane Agnes in like 72, 73. It wiped out the East Coast. I mean, I think most of the state of Pennsylvania, where I am now, was out for at least 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Where I was in Maryland, we were out for at least a month. No power, no electricity, no TV. Hey, it's almost, let's see, 72. I'm like 6, 7 years old when this happened. No TV for like a month. You know how batshit crazy.
It's but people just think it's not going to happen.
They take it for granted. I mean, because
but I love the ones in Cali. I mean, come on, you live in earthquake central. Give me a break. You prone for disaster sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are, because we live on the Gulf Coast.
And plus they're doing insanity, like mandating that we have only sell EVs by 2030. Meanwhile, they're not building any new energy supply to handle that increased workload. And then you also have cryptocurrency servers that are just draining resources, and you have GPU AI, AI GPUs that are just.
I was thinking this could be a business for us to go in on. I was thinking the other day, maybe we should participate, go to Congress and say, look, if you want to have a crypto server, that's fine, but you have to be energy independent, meaning have your own windmills or your own solar panels or both, and supply your own power. Yeah, and if you got any left, you can sell it back to the grid. Well, somebody'd have to be installing all that and putting all that stuff.
You're going to need more than the solar and wind. You're going to need
but I mean, you can get it half, or it's still never going to be enough to save the grid. But it'll not right now anyway. So it's Ronnie. So real fast, for today's solar panels, absorption is just. I mean, it's much better than it was just 10 years ago. I'm not going to lie. It's 5,000 times better. But the problem is, it's still not that good. I mean,
we still.
Joe, if you do that for GPUs, you could make a fortune.
Yeah, you can barely store the energy long enough. Yeah. If you were to let a battery, like solar lights, that people put in their yards, those are solar powered lithium batteries nowadays. It takes 6 to 8 hours for those little batteries to charge up during the daytime, and they'll last sometimes, in most cases, most of the night, around 6 to 8 hours.
But you want to do it. You want to do it in a temperate, like you don't want to do it in Louisiana because it's
No,
true. But
Texas
however,
is perfect.
If you were to take that battery out of that light before it comes on, before the energy is drained from it, and then wait a day and put that battery back in, it won't have any energy.
Now, see, Texas is a good place to do this. They get lots of daylight, and most of their, it's just southern Texas you can't do it because they are so prone to hurricanes. But the rest of Texas, I mean,
well, heat though. Heat's the problem. The hotter it is, the more.
But I've been all over Texas. There are so many solar panels and windmills. And it's funny. I used to always bitch how come there's not solar panels where there's windmills because it seems like a waste of space. I just noticed this past trip when we drove up to Utah last year that they had started doing it. But I always wondered why. So I asked a friend of mine. He said, "Well, if a damn fin comes off, they could take out all kinds of solar panels." I'm like, "Well, yeah," but I said, "You're still making money off of where you wouldn't have been making money before." But that's the real problem. I mean, the materials they use today are great, but they still get film on them. They still have to be cleaned regularly, and they're not going to last for more than maybe 3 years. If you're lucky, you might get 5, and even 5 is not paying for them. 5 might be breaking even. They're just not self-sufficient. And then there's other issues. You have to change the grid, the way things work. It's not exactly plug into the damn power plant and let them start turning the generators. It's a little bit more complicated than that. So all of that has to be changed. And it does get rid of a lot of jobs, though. All the people that were working on them steam generators and nuclear generators and gas generators and coal generators, they all just got fired. Bruce, one guy could probably take care of several fields of solar panels, unless there was an accident. Yeah, even cleaning them, one guy could do it. Yeah, it's not a job that once it's a setup, it's just not that complicated. I mean, it's just a bunch of panels out there. You can go out there and dust them every couple of weeks and check the connections that are good and check your metered power and make sure everything's going the way it's supposed to be. It's just not that. What do you mean, Mike? AC or DC? It depends how it's set up. Yeah, it depends how it's set up. And if its power is being used to create power, which is controversial in the United States, using solar panels to turn generators to create more power, is that even an efficient use of that power? That's a damn mouthful and complicated in itself. I don't currently know that so let's put it this way. I would imagine you'd need a field 50 acres, maybe 100 acres full of solar panels to really run 2 electric generators that would produce maybe enough energy for something like Philadelphia. So is that a savings, and how long can they actually run them for? If they can run them for 24 hours, maybe so. But if you're talking middle of summer, middle of winter, and they're only running 8 hours, 6 hours, I think you'd lose it. I don't know, guys. Y'all can check it out. It gets complicated when it gets into solar because we're just not there yet. We haven't got to that point where we just haven't got to the point where it's self-sufficient and it's going to repay itself quickly. So any new technologies like that can't linger like solar panels for 10 or 15 years to repay itself. This is stuff that has to really work itself through in 2 or 3 years. It has to repay itself so that the equipment can be upgraded and moved on. Because remember, in this kind of technology, you're going to have upgrades fairly regularly to try to get it to the next level. Well, we'll know California uses them. Well, Texas uses more than California does, but still. Neither state so far has really boasted or bragged. I even heard the Hitler out of New California the other day talking about his state and Governor Newsom people. And he wasn't really selling the fact that y'all were, wind and solar ready yet. And electric, and every time I hear him talk about, oh, well, we're going to have by 2030 or 2035, almost all the cars on our highways will be electric. Really?
What about the strain on the
Where are
system?
you getting the power from? You
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
even. I mean, you get
Exactly.
rolling blackouts in the summertime now,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to go get power from where? A dam or some solar panels? You better figure something out better than that.
No, if they got power from a dam, that would be great. But they're closing down dams because of the salmon runs or whatever the heck they're called. So, like a dam would be an improvement from what we have now.
Yeah. Well, y'all got all that thermal energy out there, and I've never even heard California talk about thermal energy. I've seen it out in Nevada and Arizona. I've seen thermal plants out there, but I mean, come on, California. I mean, you got a freaking damn fault line underneath your ass. They got thermal energy out the yin yang, man. I mean, I don't. Why don't they use it? You know, something else I don't understand. Why haven't we figured out a way how to use kinetic energy from the sliding of the plates? I mean, that should be enough energy to power the planet forever.
So that's probably next level. That's when you hit level 1 civilization, where you can utilize all the energy that your planet and your sun produce.
Well, how about just 0 point energy? Just like leverage the Kashmir effect, right? Like that's
we talked about before. Something the size of a softball or a grapefruit, it powers your house for forever.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you could also make a bomb that would, like suck the Earth into a black hole.
Incinerate the entire planet in one hit.
Yeah. Like one dude sitting at home who had a bad day.
So I know on exotic they've talked about helium-3. They've talked about cold fission. And they really think they can do cold by 2050. They should have some reactors up and running. And then, of course, hydrogen, which isn't really exotic, but can really make a difference, which I'm not exactly sure why we're not using it. And, of course, there's antimatter, which I don't know what the latest experiment was. I know recently it was almost a full second.
We're using hydrogen at my work to operate the fork trucks.
Yeah,
hydrogen fuel cells.
Anything is better. If we can get rid of gas and I think we should go with a couple of different ways as long as we have highways that match. So instead of having a gas station, so new gas stations in like 2060 or 2070 may still have gasoline, but they'll have an EV plug. They'll have a hydrogen charger. They might even have a place you can buy a new fuel cell, like some type of fusion cell for your car. What I found interesting about the fusion stuff is simply, once it's contained, it runs all the time. It's really harmless to you, especially the type of radiation it emits. And one about the size of a softball, that if it's only powering like boats and cars, and even your house should last 20,000, 25,000 years. Ones of the size of, say, basketballs will probably last 50. And the ones the size of 18 wheels that'll be powering cities, they may be endless as far as we know, as long as they're built out of the right stuff. So I mean, there's a lot coming, but it seems like as a society and as politicians, we don't want to go for the stuff that's going to really make the big difference. We want to go for the stuff that seems to make money. From my fellow friend who's a contractor down there, who spends a lot of money on my campaign every year. Because I don't know anybody from the 70s on up. I have never heard any real scientists say, well, electric is the way to go. I mean, not electric, but solar is the way to go. Matter of fact, the only two really brilliant scientists I've ever heard talk about solar said, oh, you should put it in space and beam it down as a form of microwave, and not have solar panels all over the freaking planet. And something
getting cooked.
So something they didn't want to tell you. So if you go into a solar panel field with a temperature gun, guess what happens? The temperature goes up about 15 degrees. All that back's pulling in all that sunlight and just releasing the heat. It's storing the energy from it, but it's releasing the physical heat because it doesn't need it. They didn't even want to talk about that. Oh, no, they didn't want to talk about that. So they're actually contributing to global warming. So they were trying to blame it on carbon, but now they got, and the bigger these fields get, the more heat they're going to trap in, the more it's going to release into the atmosphere, the warmer it's going to get. See, they don't even want to talk about it. See, they will lie to you to sell whatever they need to sell. Matter of fact, they're so desperate. I get contractors all the time call me. I could put free solar panels on your house. And I was like, no, you can't. You're not putting solar panels on my house.
Oh,
He's like, but man, you could get all your energy for free, or at least half. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And he said, it's going to be free, man. I'm like, yeah, okay. I said, first off, they're ugly. I don't want them stuck on my pretty roof. And secondly, they're wind traps for damn category 3 or 4 or 5 hurricanes. It gives the damn wind something to catch. No, I don't want them on my house. And since I have full sun,
and they're scary.
and when they found out I had full sun, they could put them on both sides. I'm like, oh no, this is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's and it probably would save me some money, but it ain't going to happen. They're just ugly. And then there are neighborhoods now who are putting it in their bylaws that you can't have them where they can be seen on the front of your house because they're ugly. And they say it brings down the value of other homes. So even when it seems like we're trying, we find ways to kick our own selves in our own asses. It just seems to be that way. Who's paging me? Hold on. I lost my messenger. Hold on, people. Where the hell did they go? There it is. Okay. Well, no, I don't know if it's 3 of my messages or 2 of them are tied together, and one of my Instagrams is in there too. So yeah, y'all texting me I don't even know where you're texting me from half the time. And I know some of y'all in the other group because I can see your little piddly numbers up there. So you can always text us from Facebook or YouTube, or I think we're on Twitter, or when I'm tonight either Twitter or Twitch. So you can, or no, if you're in Roku, you gotta just watch us. You gotta watch us sexy beastie people.
Yeah, no texting through Roku yet.
Yes, give them time. I'm sure they'll come up with it, but that's just distracting when you're watching TV. No, I mean, really, that's just distracting when you're watching TV, though. Right now, it's so we did this with the Tesla, and I love Elon. That's why. So I always hate to do this to poor Elon, but we did it with the Tesla. So a Tesla, just an everyday Tesla, nothing special, just a mid Tesla model, is equivalent to the carbon footprint to it is equivalent to an 18-wheeler running for 5 years straight, 24 hours a day. So you might as well say just for 10 years. Oh yeah, no, that's the government stats. So somehow or another, Elon, I love you, but you're not saving us. But I think Elon already knew that. I don't think it was a big surprise to Elon. And I think I don't know. And if you ask him, I don't even think he'd have a problem telling him. Well, it's not perfect yet. Well, yeah, it's full of shit. That's what that is. No, I love Elon Clifford. No, he's great, but I mean, he's the kind of guy. He'll just tell you. He'll get aggravated and just tell you. He does remind me of Iron Man, of Tony Stark. I guess that's why he has a big Iron Man in the middle of his factory. Yeah, he's got a big full-size Iron Man in the middle of his factory on the floor. I guess because he thinks he can Tony Stark. That's why I'm telling y'all. That's what he thinks. Just as long as he don't think he's the guy from 007, the guy who was
Drax.
Drax, the guy who was going to cleanse the earth. Yes. As long as he's not doing that, we're good. So right now, in case y'all didn't know this.
That's Bill Gates.
Yeah, it is Bill Gates. That bastard. What is eugenics? We need to do a show just on eugenics. So y'all know Elon owns the most satellites in space of anybody. He also owns the most orbital, you have to buy your orbits. I didn't know that. Than anybody up there. And the reason I found this out, because I wasn't researching it, this Karen woman, and I don't mean that was her name, I just mean it was her attitude, from Canada was having fits because some pieces of SpaceX landed in some farmer's field. Now, the farmer was all like, this farmer was having a ball. All kind of media was there. People were checking it out. And SpaceX gave the farmer an undisclosed amount of money for the wreckage and took it. So the camera was just flipping. It could have killed us. We could all be dead. And then the farmer looks over. He said, "No, ma'am. You could see it coming for a while. I mean, it wasn't like we were surprised or anything. I was sitting on my porch, and it sounded just like an old crazy redneck, and swinging in my swing, and I was watching it come down. And I was like, Wilma, what the hell is that?" It's like, I was like, yeah, man, I love this. I love this guy. I'm not picking guys. Come on, I'm in from the bayou in Louisiana. I can't hate on anybody. It's no, I'm not a coon ass. I'm a couillon. It's a little different. And now I'm gonna explain to you what it is. You'll have to figure it out. It's just one of them things. I wasn't born deep enough in the swamp to be a coon ass. I'm sorry. No, you gotta be born way down in the bayou. Yeah, well, the only way you can get there is by boat, and there is no cell service, and there is no cell phone, and there ain't no damn TV either, unless it's on the antennae. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. And the only thing they eat is seafood and frogs and shit, and alligators.
That's right.
And
They
stuff
see
like
food,
that.
they eat it.
That's pretty much how it works down there. Oh no, you even go down there and hang? Oh hell no, Jesus, man. That's the kind of people feed you to alligators fatten up. Fatten the gator up. Just leaving people alone. Anyway, we digress. Let's get back to what we're talking about. It's so I mean, it seemed like Elon and them were fine, and everybody was fine, and Miss Karen lady in Canada, she was in Saskatchewan, which to start off with, we have hosts in Saskatchewan, by the way, and from what they tell me, there ain't nothing up there. So I'm really not so worried about it. Maybe
There's
that's why
room
I
to
bought it.
complain.
And well, he bought these particular orbits. They were talking about why he bought these particular orbits, because they're really good for what he's doing. And okay, as long as don't fall on somebody's house, I don't think we no foul. Of course, this woman, I'm telling you, she's like the woman who was standing in the corner with the cross, saying, "End times is coming in the morning. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming." I love them ones in Bourbon Street that tell you that. You'll be drunk as hell. You'll be looking at it and going, "Is it coming? Really?" I have to mess with them. I can't help myself. Is it really coming? Are you sure it's coming? Tell me how you know it's coming. Who told you it was coming? I said, no, I talked to him this morning. He didn't say anything about nothing coming. Just idiot people. What are you going to do, people? Yeah, everybody has a right to believe what everybody wants to believe. And I don't hate on people for believing in religion. No, I just sometimes think y'all are puppets. But what do you mean? God didn't write religion. Man wrote religion. Don't even get me started on this. No, God had nothing. God did not sit down and write the Bible. That's not who wrote the Bible. Matter of fact, it was written. Well, the Second Testament was written 160 years after Christ was dead. Come on, don't even get me started on this. It was written by men for to control the men. That's what it was there for, and it's still used for that even today. I have no problem if it makes you live just and kind and loving. I'm glad for you. I'm worried a little bit that you have to have a book to tell you to be that way, but still, if it helps you to be that way, I'm all for it. One of my favorite sayings is if it makes you feel as snug as a bug in the rug, you should be doing it.
Unless, as long as it doesn't cause me any harm and you don't,
that's right.
Thrust
you're not
it
like
upon
eating
me,
people or nothing.
I'm okay with
it. It's Jesse. I'm watching Altered Carbon. I started rewatching it the other night. Yeah, I mean it's only like 15 episodes or something, but that movie's insane. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all haven't seen Altered Carbon, it's worth watching. Don't let your kids watch it, even though there's some good stuff in it the kids would probably enjoy. There's a lot of blood, a lot of guts, a lot of tits and ass. I mean a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean it is full from the noodle to your men to us. So just know. It's no, it's not porn. It's actually a really good movie, TV series about someone invented a way to store your consciousness. It's called the stack, and it's in the back of your neck, and it keeps your consciousness stored all the time. So if you die, as long as it doesn't get damaged, they can upload you into a new body. Yes, and this thing, if you're poor, you get whatever body they got. You could be a woman in a guy's body. You could be a guy in a crackhead's body.
Oh wow.
Now, if you're rich, of course, you get state of the art bodies with all kind of gadgets in them and stuff. So it's different. It's definitely a different kind of movie, and our TV series. But it's worth watching. But like I said,
what's it called again? The what?
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon. Yeah, it's I found it on Netflix a while back. I was looking for this Mars series with this Mars series that's out there with Elon Musk, and it's a TV show and kind of a documentary at the same time. So they're talking to scientists, and then they're doing their TV stuff. It's kind of weird. It's just weird, but it is kind of going to be like how we go to Mars. That's why I like it. I like what they call near now science fiction. So
There was a briefly lived Mars colonization TV series, like 1 or 2, maybe 3 seasons. I don't remember the exact name of it, but that was pretty good.
yeah, well, that might be it. It was like 2 seasons. It was called Mars. It's simply called Mars, and they have scientists, real scientists, talking to you about it. But then it's also a TV show at the same time.
Oh, I see. So it's like Mystery Science Theater 3000 with the
It's
original
real
TV show.
science, yeah, but it's real scientists. You have regular everyday actors, Joe Sean and all of them, and then you have the scientists in there, kind of telling you other stuff. It's interesting. It's definitely different. I only watch it people because it's kind of the way we're going to end up on Mars. If we go with to Mars a current mindset and current technologies, Elon will be the first one there, not America, but Elon will be the first one there, and he'll dictate who gets to go to Mars after that.
Oh yeah, he'll hold all the tickets. He's Willy Wonka at this point.
The Russians and Chinese may be doing everything, but you know what? By the time they get there, hell, Elon might have things that won't let them land there. I'm not 100% sure, and I love you, Elon. I'm not
He's got
100% sure
satellites.
that he's gonna I think it's gonna be his planet. Because as a country, you can't own anything in space, but nobody said anything about humans. He may declare Mars and change its name to Elonville, or anything along that, Musk instead of Mars, and say, okay, this is my planet, and if you come here, I'm gonna blow your happy ass up without an invitation.
That would be the Drex scenario you're talking about, kind of.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's something about him, because some of the stuff he's building, and the way he's building stuff, he just doesn't seem like the guy who's gonna spend billions and billions, actually trillions of dollars, and not protect his stuff. He just doesn't seem like he's that stupid. He's already told Putin, I've got enough satellites in space to knock down any missiles you send our way. And I can put, how did he say it? He said, I can build missiles and satellites faster than you can build nuclear weapons. Yep. He said, so if you want to try it. And he made it sound like he could even knock them when they were still in the perigee above his country, which means they would just fall straight down into Russia somewhere. Well, that's not real nice. Maybe that's why he decided to lend to Ukraine and Russia all them Starlink satellites. Well, he is a slick bastard, ain't he?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Elon. Sean's breaking your secrets. I don't know why he's doing that, man. Yeah, no, I love you, Elon. I would never do that. Joe Rogan, my ass. He wished he could do an interview like we did. You mean get an interview with Elon? The only reason I can't get an interview with Elon is I can't get past the blonde woman. She runs there. She is like his protector, and she does not play. I've talked to him a couple times, not him, but I've talked to him a couple times, and they're interested in the interview. And I even told him, since you don't really know me, I said, even though I've done some big names, I'll give you names I've done big. You can call them and ask them. I said, we can make it short and sweet, maybe a 15, 20-minute interview just to get to know who I am. Because usually I can win people over in an interview. And I'm like, and they're like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. And, we'll get back to you. And then 8 months, 9 months, you get a thing. Oh, they're going to go ahead and submit it to them. I'm like, really? 9 months? And so when it comes to stuff like that, even like when I do TV stuff now, I have realized, don't worry about it until you see it. Because I've done a lot of TV stuff. And, it'll be out this month. And a year later, 2 years later, here it comes. Oh, and Ancient Aliens is notorious for it. Everything I did for Ancient Aliens took like 18 months to come out. I'm not hating on Ancient Aliens. I had a lot of fun doing working with them, but Prometheus is a good entertainment company to work with. But and they have no control. Prometheus doesn't. That's whoever it is that controls who's going to let that out. I'm sure they run it and whatever. I don't know. I'm sure they have their reasons the way they do stuff, and they take a lot of footage from you so they can use in other stuff. Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Well,
hours
they're
and
highly
hours
produced
and
shows, so
hours.
they have to get copyrights for any kind of music and any digital artwork that they're going to
Yeah, but
show.
so I'll put this into perspective. So I've done 4 interviews with them to do stuff on TV with them, totaling probably 28 hours, maybe 30 hours. Now, I've been on their show 4 times, and the total time on that 4 episodes was probably 18 minutes, maybe 19 minutes. Now, I can't tell you if they use other clips for stuff because they can do that without my permission, and they don't have to tell me that they do it. But when I'm airing as the guest, they have to tell me. Well, the first time. After that, they don't have to tell you after that either. It's I've done stuff with Discovery, and they're all the same way. History Channel, they just oh yeah, it'll be out in 3 months. Oh, cool. Let me tell you about it. Yeah, okay. Just thought it was gonna be out in 3 months. Are you full of shit, man? I'm like, look, don't ask me. And then all of a sudden, boom. And I love when they don't tell you, because when they don't, it's always the same thing. When I'm in group places, some people will walk up and start talking to me out of the blue. Hey Joe, I see you in such and such. Oh really? And I'm thinking, okay, well, nice to meet you too. Please don't touch me. Stay back, people. It's but you'll see if it'll last for about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and people just hey, I saw you in such and such. Oh man, did that really happen like that? Or just out of the blue. I've had bank presidents ask me. I've had deli clerks ask me. It just policemen ask me. Matter of fact, I got stopped. Well, it was a roadblock actually. I didn't get stopped. And I'm the guy comes up and he's ID, and I'm handing him my driver's license and my insurance paper. And I looked up and got on so he could see me better. I say, hey, how you doing, man? He's like, he said, man, I know you. I said, really? He said, yeah. I think I just seen you on TV. I said, oh man, I hope it wasn't America's Most Wanted. He just looked at me like, wait, what?
Yeah, I just got finished watching Cops. You were right there.
He was watching Ancient Aliens, actually. He goes, he said, oh, what's your name? I said, here's my license. He looks at it, he goes, oh shit, yeah, I like you. He hands me my shit tag. He goes to talking, and then the cop in front of him who had another car stop's like, dude, he's trying to wave me through. He's like, no, hold on. He goes and gets his ticket peg so I could give him an autograph. I'm like, dude, you trying to give me a ticket? He said, no, really serious. So I wrote on there to the strange officer who roadblocked me for an autograph. Joe Montel, it's weird, people. It's weird. Sean knows how it is. Them girls try to tackle him down and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I see that. That's why his wife says you can't go by yourself no more, man.
That's why I have a collection of sticks. That's how I have to beat all the women back with me.
Watch, we'll never see Sean at Richmond by himself again. The boss will be like, no. It's well, it's funny. So, a couple of these judges I met, the first time I met them with their wives. Second time, no wives. Third time, wives. I was like, uh-oh. Never a good thing. It's kind of interesting to hear some of the stories you hear. No, we're talking about Writers of the Future, guys. As a matter of fact, speaking of that, tomorrow John and I will be on. John Goodwin from Galaxy Press will be on talking about Battlefield Earth. Actually, if anybody wants to join us, it's yes. No, we're just going to be talking about it and Father's Day and whatever stuff that comes up. Just bullshitting. Yeah, about different books and different sci-fi stuff. And well, it's just Battlefield Earth's always got some kind of anniversary coming up, so that's why we're always talking about it. Plus, they had that big Hurley statue with the hand that's bigger than Emily's head. It's it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. We play around a lot. It's wait, who? I don't know. Sean's got all kind of books out.
I do.
He no, he does.
Weird,
yeah,
Weird World War III, Weird World War IV, Weird World War China. And then I have like a self-published one that's 10 of my short stories called Alien Abattoir and Other Stories. And I'm missing one. Hell's Well is another one. It's like a novella. So you get all this stuff on Amazon. Just Type in my name, you'll find it.
Yeah, let's go check it out. What do you
Cool.
mean, Raymond? You don't know what a novella is? I'll tell you what. If you're not familiar with author terms, join us on Saturdays. Lots of author talk on Saturdays. Yeah, if you listen to 6 weeks,
it's
you'll
not,
be good.
it's not a novel, but it's
Close.
it's shorter. Yeah, slightly shorter than a novel.
Yes, it's no, it's not a baby novel. It's close to a regular novel. Um, what? No, I mean, no. We talk about all that stuff. Let me tell you something, guys. Okay, 5 years ago, if you'd have asked me anything to do to authors, I'd have looked at you like, what? What are you talking about? I don't know what the hell that means. Some of the stuff I actually did because I'm over the years I've interviewed other authors, but not like this. I've learned so much from these people. Between all the authors I interview these days and all the time I spend over at Writers of the Future, I've learned a lot. Really and truly, I've learned a lot. I know I can actually help authors now because I'm actually going, wow, I've actually been paying attention to what all of these people have actually been saying. Well, you see, like in Sean's case, he got to spend the week with him. But this now is 5 weeks for me with him. So I'm hearing, all these questions these guys ask, but other questions other people ask, and all the stuff they're teaching in between. I'm privy to the entire time I'm there. I tried to get John let me put him into like a series and put them bitches up for sale. No. It's like, damn. Too many people involved, I guess. But no, anytime you're interested in any authors on the network, just write to us or catch them when they're live. I mean, Sean's here on Sunday night. Oh, no, don't bring your children because he's naked, but, he's here on Sunday night. Yeah, we have a couple hosts that do naked shows. You didn't know that, people? Well, you can't see nothing good. I mean, come on now. It's family naked.
All right. PG-13 at best.
What is family naked? Oh, Lord. It's So no, I'll get serious. I mean, we've been playing with it, but when you mean Uncle Trump, okay. I don't know what's going to happen to Trump. It's a good chance his judge might try to put his ass in jail. I don't know why any judge in their right mind would try. But now that him and Alvin Braggs are being called up to go stand in front of Congress and talk, they might want to put him in jail.
Yeah.
Because they got a lot of questions to answer when they go in front of Congress. Congress is going to say, well, wait, because Alvin, remember, the Alvin guy who's in charge of all this, he passed over this case initially. And his office passed over it. The DEA, a matter of fact, everybody in New York passed over it. So it was a done deal. It had already passed the statute of limitations. The feds passed over it. Everybody else passed over it. Nobody was interested in this case. Here we go 8 months before an election. Oh, and now we got a case. And wait, well, statute of limitations, how we? Oh, well, we changed it around so it can be federal. Well, how did you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, you can just turn any dead case into a fed case and
rewrite the law as it's written.
So, I mean, it stinks to high heavens. And then the problem for him is his first 4 appeals courts are all in New York. So out of the 21 judges he can possibly end up with, and on the 7 appellate judges, only one of them was put in by a Republican. The other 28 were put in by Democrats. And if you don't think that matters, then I don't even know why you listen to the show. Yeah. It's so the only hope Trump actually has, he's going to have to take it to the Supreme Court. But he doesn't have to. I didn't realize this. So he'll July 11th, they'll do the sentences. Most people think he's going to get like house arrest or some kind of limited travel because he's running for president and then back to house arrest or something. So wait a minute. How does house arrest when you're in the White House? I mean, can you actually put the president on house arrest? I don't think you can. I don't think for some reason. I don't think you can actually put the rule of the free world on house arrest. I don't think it works that way. But
how do you go to a G8 summit in Europe if you got ankle bracelets in the White House?
But so what the attorneys are saying is, since it'll be under appeal when he wins the election, it will have to stop right then and there. So there will be nothing else. The judge can't do him anything because the appeal process can't finish while he's in the White House. So it's just basically 4 years. And now a lot of people are calling for Biden to pardon him if he loses. He should pardon Trump before he leaves. Will he do it or not? No, I don't think he will.
But he said he would, and then
He did say he would.
Also, he may be inclined to not seem so self-serving because his son was convicted of felony gun charges. So, if he pardons his son and not Trump, people are going to think that's kind of self-serving.
Yeah, and he swears he's not going to pardon his son, which may or not be true. I don't really know, but he swears he's not going to he's not going to pardon his son, and I don't know how that's going to would fly with the people in Congress anyway. Everybody would be like, "Whoa, wait a minute, red flag, red flag, red flag."
Yeah. But there's no law that says he can't, right? Or is
No, there's
there?
no law that says no. He can pardon himself. There's no law that says he can't. He has complete control over that. He can do whatever he wants with that. And so can Trump when he gets it.
Oh, great! Apparently, our Facebook feed just froze because we started going political. Apparently,
Seriously?
that's what Joe Fox said in the comments.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it because they. Now
There's definitely
YouTube,
been a huge amount of censorship.
I noticed
Like,
YouTube has actually eased up a little bit on some of their censorship, even though they flagged us for something a couple of weeks ago. But I've noticed that they've eased up on some stuff, especially COVID related stuff. Now that Fauci's come out and said what he said, I mean, they kind of had to. They were going to
they deleted one of my videos for. I'm not even touching that topic anymore.
Oh yeah,
like when you're over Target. Yeah, when you're over Target, they'll just take stuff out. So don't talk about the cocktail. Just don't. Again, I'm using a code word, but do not talk about the cocktail.
But now that the old man is in the news all over the place, we'll see how that plays out. On some of this stuff, YouTube and Facebook are going to have to take a reversal because if they don't, they're going to get sued. Because frankly, now that the individual is saying, "Hey, none of that actually worked." What are you going to do? I mean, the guy's pretty much confessed that none of that was going to work, and there's more and more evidence of that. That it was paid for by us. What are we talking about, Glenn? We're talking about chocolate fudge ice cream maker. Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah, good one too, man. That's what we're talking about. No, it ain't code. It's a chocolate fudge. Yeah. See, I live in New Orleans, where you know what a snowball is? Shaved ice or just a snowball? You know what that is? Yeah, man. So you get one of them and you put the chocolate stuff on it, and then you get some of that sweet cream condensed milk and you just pour it all over the top of it. Holy manoli, that shit is in the middle of summertime when it's 100 degrees outside, 98% humidity. You are so happy to be eating that thing. It's just, why do you think so many frozen drinks were invented in New Orleans? Because it is hot here. It's not that it's hot. We can deal with the heat. It's the mugginess, man. It's just so muggy all the time. It's like it makes you. I mean, I swear, some days it feels like you're taking a shower when you walk out the door. Why do I live here? Because I love it here. It's beautiful. Yes. Well, I don't want to live in Cali. The ground shakes. Look, I got to deal with hurricanes. That's enough. I don't want no shaking ground. Besides, Cali's going to probably start getting hurricanes now with global warming. So, what do they call them out there? Typhoons.
Well, but this,
no, it won't. No, it won't.
The East Coast hasn't been hit hard in a long time. I mean, I'm not talking like the lower states. I'm talking like Maryland and Pennsylvania. We haven't been hit up this far north.
Yeah, the last one that went up to far north was Sandy, and I was my this show wasn't even that old at that point, and Stephanie my co-host and the station manager was she was like, she lived in Staten Island. She got, I don't know, 6 or 8 feet of water in her house. She was going on and on and on. And I said, and I was talking to people all over New York who had got there, but the New Yorkers were holding up. They were doing like the New Orleans where they were out there. Yeah. See, Domino's. So when Katrina hit, 3 days or 4 days after the storm, actually about 5 days, Domino's was out there giving away pizzas all day long. Two large pepperoni pizzas to anybody who came up, as long as you're essential worker. So, and as that went on, I mean, they did that for 6 months. So at one point, they were giving away buttloads of pizzas, and they weren't the only ones. Draco's and other restaurants were giving away free food, and of course, you had the the Red Cross driving around giving away food too. So, But I noticed New York stepped up and was doing the same thing, and they were giving out food and giving it away for free and staying out there. It's just, it was a Class 2 hurricane. We go swimming in a Class 2 hurricane. We don't even consider that to be a real hurricane. I'm not kidding y'all. I used to take my kids out and I'd get the big raft and go bring them out and let them ride the waves. That's not even we don't consider that even a real hurricane. It won't even breach our levee systems. So it's, and I don't even live with his levees. I live straight up out of water, but even a Class 2 is not going to put more than 3 or 4 foot of water in my yard. So, we'll go floating around in a boat or something. It's just not the same.
You'd have to pirogue.
So I really didn't think about an unprotected place like New York or, New Jersey anyway with a Class 2 storm. I was like, whatever, it's a Class 2. Come on, how much damage can it do? It would kick y'all's asses is what it did. We were down here like we were all just stunned how much damage it caused. Everybody in Louisiana was like, really? And we're thinking, Jesus Christ, you better start getting everything prepared. What happens if a Class 5 moseys its ass up there?
Hurricane Agnes blew through the East Coast in 72, and it was a Category 1, which is sustained winds of 74 to 95 miles an hour, and it knocked out power for months for lots of people in the very east coastal regions, at least.
Well, here I live close enough to a major intersection that they try to get the lights on. It's a high-speed intersection, so they try to get the lights on, which is kind of nice. In New Orleans, though, for Katrina, we were only without power. Well, my house was only without power for 4 weeks, but we had generators, so it wasn't like we were without power. But a good chunk of New Orleans was 6 months, 7 months before they seen power on. And there was places in the state didn't see power for a year. It was, it's what happens when a major storm hits, and it still wasn't a Class 5. Class 5 is just going to mow over everything. Well, James, you leave. You insure everything and you leave. Yes, that's what we do. We insure everything and we leave.
My
wife just paid the flood today.
155 mile an hour sustained winds or greater.
Yeah, or greater.
That's the kind of wind that can pick up a 2x4 that's squared off on all its ends. It's not sharp, but it can drive it directly through your house.
Oh yeah, easy.
It'll go through the wall, the outside wall, through the inside wall, through you, through the next wall, and the next outside wall, and keep on going.
They're
be phased by you.
Well, most of the time, the eye wall is usually somewhere around 180 miles an hour. Even if the sustained winds
is than the other. So I think is it the leeward side that's the weak side?
Well, that's what happened to this house doing Hurricane Zeta. I'm sorry. It was only supposed to be a class. It was at the top of the Class 2, bottom of a Class 3. And so we stayed right here. Now the water got to be 9 feet deep underneath my house. There's only a foot between the water and the bottom of my house, which was kind of strange. And my car was parked up on a bridge, and I was watching the pools go around. But man, I heard something sound like it smacked my house. And then about a half hour later, I heard something again smack my house. Well, we were in the eye wall. We never got into the eye or out of the eye. We just, for a good 45 minutes, the eye wall itself was just passing over my house. And we were right where the damn eye was. We never got inside of it. We never got outside of it. When the storm hit, that's where we were. I was like, son of a bitch. Tore that metal roof off and sent it flying. That roof weighs at least a ton. Sent it flying like it was nothing. Christopher, I don't know what Trump's going to... I personally think he's going to get some kind of house arrest. Or maybe he'll get suspended or something. I mean, they got him on 34 felonies. I mean, he's looking up to 30 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give Trump maximum sentence and send our country into a revolution.
Yeah.
No, I won't be part of it, but I will be armed in case you crazy revolutionaries try to get in my house. It's no, I'm not trusting of that. I'm not trusting the Democrats or the Republicans when it comes to this. This is suicidal behavior.
Well, the whole lawfare thing. I mean, everybody knows those 34 felonies are bullshit.
Yeah, well, they were not extinct. They'd already passed the statute of limitations. So
well, that's all sorts of things. Like the crime wasn't even a felony, right? Like it was a misdemeanor. They just came up with some novel legal theory.
Somehow bumped it up to a felony so they could do something about maybe reinstating the statute of limits. Who knows? But it sounds like dirty politics.
Well, it
I mean,
was.
it
So,
doesn't sound like it is. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
well,
no,
yeah,
so
it's-
like I
it's
said,
nakedly that.
Alvin Bragg's the guy who brought all this on. He's not the prosecutor. He's the guy who runs the department, and he started this. He had passed on this case. And after he passed in this case, the statute of limitations run out, and they were misdemeanors. They weren't felonies. And then supposedly Joe Biden had a phone call with Garland. Garland talked to Alan Briggs, and then Alan made some comments to some of his, which may be enough to overturn the case, to some of his people that he was going to go after Trump. And so that was his election pledge. So he was using it for politics, clear and simple, that he did all of this for politics. He went and changed this from a misdemeanor to a felony, which I'm not even sure how he did it. And then
essentially rewriting the law to suit his own needs.
And he ignored the statute of limitations. Now, these other judges may ignore that, but somebody said this the other day. One of the appellate judges is a Democrat. He said, "Well, if New York's judges ignore this, he said no one's going to ever think that New York can be trusted as law enforcement." He said we're already bleeding businesses like California is. He said, we can't keep bleeding businesses. And he said, if they keep treating businessmen like this, he said, everybody's going to leave. And they've lost some big companies. And a lot of them are going to Texas now. At the rate companies are going to Texas, it's going to be the largest, highest economy in the country. I mean, California is right now by, I think it's 30 trillion.
Where is Texas now economically?
It's right below California by about $6 trillion or $5 trillion.
Okay.
So it's already, and population will catch it, I think they said, in 5 years. So it's the second largest populated state in the union.
So which companies left from New York? I mean, we talked about a few that left California. Who left New York?
What's the let me think of their names for a minute. The people who run the bag company, the expensive bags. I can't remember
Gucci?
this guy's
Gucci?
Yeah, but it's not just Gucci. The other one left too. They moved their base
Versace?
operations. They moved their home base now to Florida.
Yeah,
That's
a
where they're
lot of
going.
the New York businesses that's where they go. They go to
So
Florida.
they moved it to
They
Florida.
like to be on the water.
Yeah, they did. And then some big trucking outfit who has been in New York, from what I heard, since they started 50 years ago, they're also moving to Florida. And then there's two companies that said they were going to go to Savannah, so they'll be moving to Georgia. And I'm sure if some of the people would go to Atlanta, because Atlanta's a blue city. Yeah, but Atlanta's a blue city just as bad as New York. So if you kind of still like the New York scene, you can go hang out, except they got a lot more hills in Atlanta, in the city, I mean. So they're just bleeding out. And then
it's not like San Francisco. San Francisco's got some, put your stomach to the pit of your throat kind of hills. But
a bunch of the investment companies came out after the Mar-a-Lago trial. And we're like, oh no, we're definitely leaving New York. And a lot of them went to Atlanta. That's where they went.
I mean, if you're an investment company, what you like based on that lawsuit, your very business model is illegal. Because you buy low and you sell high, right?
I know Webb and all of them
it's
left.
worth, and people sell for more than they think it's worth.
Yes,
and that's all Trump did, and that's what he was prosecuted for.
So I know Webb and them left, and I mean they still got businesses, and it's not like they're taking their business out of New York; they're just taking their home operations out of New York. And you're going to keep seeing more and more of that. And shit, I mean, they're seriously talking that Trump may win New York. I mean, I've been even hearing it out of New York lately. He may win. And shit, they were talking about Schuessler has lost. He had a 40% lead on the Republican. Now he's down to a 20% lead. They said there's no senator in that state in that position has been 20% ever. And they're scared that he may even get down to
Schumer?
a 5 or 10. Yeah, they say he might even get down to a
He
5
might
or
lose?
10%. I don't think he'll lose, but I think he may be a lot closer than they're used to. I think it'll be close enough that it might shake him up a little bit. And then they said the $20 an hour could see a red governor in California. They said the Democrats may vote in a red governor because the last two blue ones sucked.
Yeah.
That's their words exactly. I was like, well, I don't know.
I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, the last guy who ran against Gavin Newsom was the black face of white supremacy,
Yeah.
Larry
When,
Elder.
when was
Remember
when
that?
was the Republican governor? Was it Reagan?
No, it
No,
was
no, they had one after that.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Well, that's how
Schwarzenegger
far
was
back
the
is
last one.
that? 20 years?
90s.
Yeah. No, he was 2000. Yeah, I guess it was in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah,
90s, 2000, like
Yeah, somewhere right around
turn of the
there, yeah.
century.
30 some years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maryland was a blue state. They didn't have a blue governor for what is it? I think 85 years or 65 years. I mean, so
The problem with California, though, is the governor's not very powerful, and they have the referendum system. So people pass all kinds of wackadoodle referendum or referendums, and
wackadoodle is
Yeah,
a
but you
technical
see,
term.
you get a red governor, you might see some of that change. It's I know Californians in general. I've been reading a lot lately. I know they're pissed. They're tired of the bullshit. They want to change. But Californians, you dumbasses, are the one that did this. There's nobody. Look,
I didn't do it.
I'm not blaming. I'm not pointing at Sean. But you see this finger I'm pointing. All the rest of you Californians.
Let's say it like this: the majority of Californians who do not think like
Hey,
Sean
Christopher.
did this.
I literally, I just look at my ticket, and if I see Democrat on it, I vote the other thing, even if it's like,
yeah. See, I can't do that, but
I'm so done with the Democratic Party. I'm so done.
I am.
I
with
voted.
most
I
of them.
voted for Green. I voted for Socialists. I don't care. They are like, I'm an anti-democratic voter. I'm not a Republican. Like, I'll vote for Republicans. I'll vote for whoever is not a Democrat. Because we don't even have Republicans running against Democrats out here.
Yeah,
so
no,
I
a lot of
have to
times
vote
I've
for
done.
like communists. or
I
whatever.
kind of do the same thing when it gets like to the local positions, like particularly like school board. I generally I don't care what party they are, but if you're a female, I tend to go for, I think a female is better for public school security and getting better education than like some dude who's just there for the money. I don't know if it works, but that's how I do it.
Sexist bastard, Jude. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Man, y'all hear this? Y'all need to come kick his ass.
Just
But you got
think
Christopher.
about all those kids who might happen to have grown up with this woman who runs their public school system, who they all had a crush on because she was a really pretty lady. Think about
Okay,
that.
that's not a reason you give somebody a job. I'm gonna start calling you Kamala Harris. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, that's like DEI crap. That's like didn't earn it crap.
What are we gonna do with this guy? Did you vote for what's his name? I was gonna say Schumer, but what's his name? Hoodie guy.
On that one, I'll give you that one. I actually voted for Oz on that one.
Oh shit!
I
I got in
Oz
so
was
much
bad,
trouble.
too. Like, what were they thinking?
John,
I got in
Fetterman.
so much
Tay?
trouble over
Come on.
Oz. So the first time I
Tay?
seen Oz, and they said he was going to go, I said he's not going to win. And then somebody showed me Fetterman. I said, even as pathetic as Fetterman is, I said Oz is not going to win. He's like, why? I said, because Oz. I said, there's something about the guy that just
He's just out of touch.
He doesn't
Completely
have
out of
neck
touch.
tattoos for one.
I don't know. He's just no. But there's something.
He's out of touch.
He
He's
is.
okay.
I can't. He just
He's
He
Hollywood. He's Hollywood.
that, and I'm with the Pittsburgh people. He just moved there to get elected. I'm kind of with them on this. I'd be like, wait, you don't even know my state. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Go
Where you
faster.
from? Go home.
Mhm.
He must have been from a red state, and that's why they brought him there. Actually, Christopher, I liked Kennedy, but then I heard Kennedy recently. Now, this wasn't from this election. This was from when he tried to run again, and he is Uncle Festerman. It's I heard he. Man, he was. First off, he tried to blame all the red cities for all the violence in the country. There is no violence in red cities. It's all blue cities. I mean, that ain't even hard to do. I mean, should you go read their own government in their own handwriting and tell you how bad their cities are?
Mhm.
And then there was some other kind of hateful shit he said. And I was just kind of, then he started hating on all the Christians for no reason. I'm like, damn, dude. I'm like, that's, I guess because at that time he was a Democrat and he was a hardcore Democrat.
Wait, who was this? Fetterman?
Kennedy. No, Kennedy.
Oh, Kennedy.
Yeah. And
well,
Kennedy,
the moment he like, as soon as he like publicly supported reparations, I was done. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't
Well,
care.
you can't really blame him on that. It's I somebody told me one day. I said, well, I didn't know Kennedy was a black man. Shit, somebody should have told me that. and the guy's like, was he really? I'm like, no. I said, he one of them whitey tighties. I said, he can't even act. I said, when he does his DNA, it's probably got minus black in it. I said, he's a Kennedy. I said,
I haven't heard him speak, but I imagine he's pronounces tuna and Cuba just like his uncle did. Tuner and Cuba.
Tuna. Tuna and Cuba.
Tuner
my
and
God.
Gamer.
Have it
He's,
in my car.
Yeah, have a tuner.
Welcome to Worcester.
Tuner on rye.
they do have some effed up accents, man.
Oh yeah.
Over there in the corner. In the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah, it's good party in the car in the
Let's go
car.
pack the car.
I had two friends from
Park the
Boston when I was
car
in the
in the car.
Navy. They used to drive me crazy with them accents. I was like, man,
It's
both
bad.
of them wealthy
It's
as
bad when you
shit too.
speak English, but all your friends request that you have some kind of closed captioning so they can understand what you're saying.
It's like
all
talking to
about
damn Irish
Chappaquiddick.
people. It always cracks me up, dude.
Mary Jo Kopechne.
Good
I was not drinking.
No, I was not
drunk.
drinking. No, I wasn't drinking that night. Damn Kennedys. They
I'm
got away
sure.
with a lot of stuff. What's that, Michelle? They got who did what? Oh, your baby. Somebody was looking for the baby. Your baby's on my lap. Janice, I'll show you. Hold on. Let me turn my cam back on. There is the baby. Oh, you can't sit the baby. Hold on. Let's see if you can see the baby. No, baby don't want to be seen. Sorry. Let me pick her up.
Black dog on black clothes. Unless it smiles.
There's
there
the
we
demon.
go.
She's a demon. She's now world famous. She got how many followers now? 3 million. We all love you. Okay, you ready to go back to sleep? Okay, go ahead. She'll get up here and just clunk out. If you hear something snoring, it's my dog. It's yeah, dog snoring. Ain't that a bitch? I know. First off, I have seen the polls lately, and we'll talk about them in a little while. It does look pretty good for Trump in Pittsburgh. And so I was reading this one about Wisconsin today and said, oh, him and they're tied. I'm like, really? I said, because every poll I've seen, he's up by 3 or 4 points. I'm like, tied. I said, so anytime.
For the last 5,
so I've always had a rule, though. Anytime I hear a Democrat say tied, that means he's up by at least 2. Okay, let's just be honest about it because
Depends on how many ballots they print, Joe. They can print more ballots.
Yes. So I got to give Trump some credit here now. So we'll talk about this real quick. So they are planning to have people at every polling station, everyone, and they're going to stay there with the ballot boxes no matter what until they're counted. People, and he said if it's going through nights, they'll even switch out people who are going to be there. He said, but there'll be none of this like in Pittsburgh. Oh, the toilet broke, everybody go home, and then all of a sudden there's 100,000 more ballots. And I'm not saying anybody cheated, guys. I just, just when you see things like that, it looks suspicious.
It raises suspicions and red flags all over the place.
Yes. Yeah, this year, yeah, he is, Chris. He is running for the Reform Party.
Well, I mean, the Biden laptop
he told
was
Democrats
Russian disinformation, obviously, right? Which is a good reason to ban the New York Post from Twitter. Remember that?
Well, okay. First off, let's digress a minute. I gotta thank Elon Musk for buying Twitter and letting us know about all this shit that was going on that we all knew was going on, but nobody would fess up. So then he put whose butt on the fire? Mark Zuckerberg's ass on the fire. All kind of countless people from the FBI's asses are now on fire.
I just deprioritized that story. It was
all kind of Democrats. So then
deprioritized. I'm a lizard person. Anyway, sorry.
So and then he goes. So the other day he goes and brings one of his SpaceX people and has them go look for everybody who said that the laptop was Russian disinformation. Oh, and there is a long line, baby, way longer than my long ass.
And they're all like former intelligence officials.
Oh yeah, and some of them are bigwig people, and they're all kind of people on this list. So he puts them. He put the whole. By the way, it's on Facebook. I mean, on Facebook, it's on X now. People somewhere. That's where I seen it at, and you can go watch the video. And the whole time you're thinking, these effing son of a bleeping SO son of a bleeps. This shows you how
zero integrity, zero shame, pure evil. Yeah. Completely subverted the integrity of the American system. And they did it without losing a moment of sleep. Pure evil.
They did. And so far, nobody's got in trouble. But this is one of the reasons so many of these bastards are scared that Trump might get in office. Because that is one of his goals.
Because if he does to them what they did to him, they're going to prison for a very long time. And they probably should.
Yeah, we were
and
talking
most of them
about
should
this
get
on,
it.
on the previous show with Jeff and our guest that if he wins, he's going to go hardcore after the Democrats. Hardcore.
Good.
It's going to be a revenge, whatever. I don't
Well, I
know.
mean, all he has to do is enforce the law because what they did was highly illegal. Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't even need to do a revenge tour. He just needs to enforce the law.
So he asked Alan Braggs the other day, well, why hasn't Hillary been arrested? So we know that she did an election interference. We now know that the tape was faked and that she's the one that put it out. So why isn't she going to jail? Why isn't she being prosecuted? So these are kind of questions. And somebody asked, and one of the reporters asked Alan Garland the other day about it. And he was like, "Oh, it's not how it works." He said, "Oh, yeah, that is how it works, sir.
It's exactly how the legal system works. You do something
I said,
wrong.
we now know beyond any reasonable doubt that she put it out. She's the one that commissioned it. And you know it as well as we do. Why hasn't she been arrested or prosecuted yet? You're going after Trump for something far less. And you went after all those June 6 people for something far less. And then something else Elon did. So Elon did the totals of what June 6 cost in lives, money, and people, what it cost. And then he did the MLL marches under both Trump and Obama. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I mean, people, it's horrible. I mean, first off, we found out under Obama that the BLMs in the neighborhoods were going through and burning out other minorities like Asians and Spanish people. They were burning their businesses out. Yeah, so in 3 or 4 cities, they burned out 70% of their competition. 70%. Okay, all kind of people should have been going to jail for that. There were more than 122 rapes and I think more than 250 deaths. Yes, and we're talking billions and billions and billions in damage, not in cost and how much police it cost for all the police that had to be out there, all the cleanup and all the repairs, which were more billions.
I think it was the largest insurance cost in history.
And then we gave money to
worse
people.
Worse than Katrina, worse than anything.
Oh yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
And then we gave money to people that we all knew were crooked and no good. Oh, you're just saying that because they're black. Well, they're in prison now. Obviously, you wasn't because I mean, the one girl bought 4 houses in New York. Come on. The international guy went wild and spent money all over. The only guy who was actually legit was like the just local guy, the local big guy. He didn't do anything stupid. The rest of them just spent it like it was their money. They didn't know better. That's what the one girl said. She said, "Well, I thought it was my money." Really?
No, that's not how charities work.
And the bad part is, I think the defense partly worked. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, I mean, they do say ignorance of the law is no defense, but they doesn't say anything about stupid.
And then let's not forget that the Democrats arranged for these people who were committing these crimes to get out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
They even paid for them to get out of jail.
Wow.
Have you ever
caused more trouble?
Have you ever talked to somebody who went to one of these protests who's like not on the side of these people, but just goes in for intel?
Well, I've been to a couple of them actually, but
when you arrive, I haven't been to one, but I know someone who has. When you arrive, there's like they have briefings on like so and so is here to provide you with legal service, and here's how you handle, if you do this and that. Like they're all like Sorosed out. Like they have like all this stuff is well organized.
So
and they know what their rights are, and yeah.
This is friendly press. This is not. These guys are friendly press. This is not. I've always been listed as friendly press, and it's. So I actually, when I was invited. So this is what's so funny, and I know I've told the story before, but so we were invited to a BLM in Hattiesburg and one in Jackson. Went to both of them. Not a black person, either one. Not one. So Hattiesburg, I kind of understand. Hattiesburg is kind of
all crazy white people. This is all crazy left-wing white people.
It's what it was. So I get to Hattiesburg now. I mean to Jackson. Now remember, Jackson is per capita is I think either the first or second largest black city in the United States. It's 93% black, but none of them showed up. Just a bunch of old white rednecks. I was like, what the is going on here?
They're probably embarrassed by it because it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And would be one thing if it was something that was going to help them or make change or something. And it may have in the beginning, but when they got so politicized, they may have actually got something out of the deal.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Michael? You mean reparations? Reparations is going to be a hard sell. It's not just with white people. You got to make the Hispanics and the Asians also think reparations. And nobody going to think it is. The worst part is if you give reparations to blacks, you have to take care of the Native Americans first.
Do the Native Americans first.
Yeah, you can talk about blacks all you want, but when it comes down who was the worst treated people in the country, it was the Native Americans. Even my black friends will tell you it was the Native Americans.
Almost all the sports teams that represent any kind of Native Indian history are being wiped out.
So, but think of it this way: if you are a minority in this country and you've been watching the progression moving forward, and your life is changing and getting better, and you can make money and being in sports and being all kind of stuff, Native Americans still can't. They're still living the life they were 100 years ago, a piece of shit crap hole life. No, they can leave the reservation. I've seen it smart ass coming. They can go live, but that's not who they are. It's not who they want to be. It's why they kept their land inside of our country, because they didn't want to be like the white man. They want to live on the land, and it doesn't matter. We don't care. And then we find shit like uranium and stuff on their land, so we go take more of their land. We give them money for it though now. And then we taught them how to put casinos up with lots of free booze.
Yeah. They're allowed to produce their own alcohol and casinos.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are so mistreated in this country. They are by far. I mean, did you know more than 2/3 of the people who live on a reservation can't even count? Most of them don't have an education above 3rd grade. That's pathetic on our side.
Yeah.
Really, it is. I mean, we should be, maybe they don't want to do it in our schools, but we should be helping them to set up their own ways to educate their people. Just like we do with people who want to do homeschooling. They can't change if they're not educated. They don't have to come live with the white man. They can go live and hunt deer and do whatever the hell they want. Mm-hmm. It's, no. The reservation belongs to them. It's not ours. It's theirs. Anytime we take land from a reservation, it's an invasion. Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
It's called the Indian Nation. It's not government. It's not federal government land or property.
It doesn't belong to anything to do with our country. It's like Palestine. That's what it's like. It's a piece of someone else's territory inside of our country.
It's a country within a country, or several countries within a country. Each
in that case, it's several countries.
Its own nation.
Speaking of Palestine, that anti-Semitic law that passed the House, apparently there are passages in the Bible that if you quote them, you could be charged with a felony now. At least if it passes the Senate.
If it passed the House, it probably won't pass the Senate. Senate lately hadn't been passing anything coming out of the House. But I will say this, with the exception of the last case in the Supreme Court, the last 10 have been 9-0. I've been impressed with and I mean they've been 9.
I don't think it's partisan either. I think the Supreme Court's just oh hell no, we need to exert the fact that we are the third branch of government, and we need to disintermediate this insanity.
Yeah,
because I think the executive branch has gotten way too powerful, and they realize.
So, this is a good one from I seen a friend of mine writing about this earlier in the text. So everybody's hating the Supreme Court and the Republicans over birth control. Well, not everybody, mostly blues, but still. But then the Supreme Court held up the law saying you can use over-the-counter birth control. They didn't take it away from you. They just took away physical birth control. I mean, not physical birth control. I'm sorry, physical.
So the morning after pill is okay, but I was raped.
Look, I think the Republicans are strategically stupid. I think they should be all for abortion because it's like a generational strategy. There won't be any Democrats left if they continue to allow it. So they should be for it.
It's I know. Let's wipe out the Democrats. Fastest way.
They'll wipe out themselves. It's,
if we can't weed them out, we breed them out.
It's we don't do anything to them. They, the Republicans don't do anything to them. They just let them do to themselves what they want to do.
Yeah,
to themselves.
the highest abortion group is Inside the Blacks, which is one of the Democrats' biggest voting groups. Not anymore though. And I gotta say, the Democrats were pissed the other day. So they've been saying that only 20% of blacks are going to vote for Trump. Well, from what I seen in Atlanta and in up north was true, it's going to be far more than that.
Well, I
Those
think there's
stadiums
like,
was sold out.
I think there's a huge divide between black males and black females. So
There
I think
is
black
actually
males
the
are,
majority.
like,
So it's
yeah.
if I remember, and you can correct me on this, when I had seen this last week, it was 80% black male voting for Trump and about 28% black female voting for Trump.
Yeah.
So, but that's a big increase on both sides. I really thought, because Trump had already broke a record twice with blacks. Usually the Republican Party gets about 6%, 8%. And then I remember his first time he got 10. I think the second time he got 18. And most people say when you even it out, he's going to pull 40% or more of the black vote in this election. So
and frankly, the 34 felonies did
not
help the Democrats. Yeah, they did not help the Democrats.
Yeah,
It just made it more likely.
Everything they've tried to do to get him in trouble has backfired.
Well,
and
because
in the polls,
so,
we see him go up in the polls because of this. We see him go up in the polls for just about everything.
So one of our hosts, he's a black gentleman, actually two of them. We were talking about this the other day. He said, I didn't like Trump. He said, but now his ass, he said, now he's been to the plight of a black man, I can identify with Trump. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
She says, Joe, think about it.
He
said he's just a guy going through life. He wants to run for political office, and all kind of people just start hating on him, trying to take him out left and right, just illegally doing this. He said that's what it is to be a black man. And he said, and I think he might have a better understanding of who we are. Well, he was giving a speech the other day, and he was saying, well, I'm not racist, and all these Democrats said yes he is, and then the black Democrat who was in the group too, he said no. I said, I think he was. I said, but since y'all made him go through this, I think he understands what it is to plight of the black man. And of course, the Democratic panel was like, they were just floored. I mean, they couldn't even come back. They went to commercial. Actually, they couldn't even come back. And I noticed the other guy was quiet the rest of the show because he kicked them right square.
What are the Dems going to do about? I mean, you've seen the recent Biden videos where he's like wandering off into the ether and like.
Well, I like the one where he looks like he's taking a poop.
What are the Democrats going to? Are they going to suddenly announce a change at the convention? Like what?
I don't think they can. They've talked about this.
They have to. They're going to lose for sure.
Well, okay, so it doesn't work that way. So the only change they can do is Kamala.
Oh my God!
And she can't win. They already know that. That's the only because she's VP, and unless she steps down, they can't fire her.
She can't stand up against Trump in an election.
No, she can't.
He would destroy her.
Do what, Tweety? I didn't hear you.
Why are the only candidates that are deemed viable clinically insane?
Because the people who really control the country want pliable people who are easily compromisable.
I need to be able to run my
controlled.
Yes, I need to run them correctly.
Is it to just make headlines and have something to put in the news because of how awkward or like?
No, they need. See, one of the reasons they like Trump is because he's uncontrollable. That's why so many Americans like him, because he's out of control. But all the rest of the candidates, and even including a lot of the Republicans, are very pliable. They're very controllable.
Yeah.
Through this little nudge or that little nudge or this little nudge, the powers to be, the George Soroses and people like that. But the problem now is George Soros has stuck his nose in so much shit, nobody trusts him anymore. So when we hear his name or Bill Gates' names, it throws up red flags to like 80% of the country. Shit, Bill Gates and his eugenics scares half the planet, much less a country. And he's over there doing all kind of shit in India. We have no idea what he's doing to them poor people.
We can give everyone mRNA vaccines, and if it doesn't work, it's just like a software program. We can restart, and it'll be fine. Except the people who got some of these things, right? And I'm talking about hypothetical things that don't exist, right? Like
things
it's not like a software program where you people are gonna like be damaged for the rest of their lives. Yeah, that's how that guy thinks.
Didn't he make a bunch of women sterile in India? And I thought he was like banned from that thing.
He may.
No, he's not
That's a good
banned.
question. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
He
I wouldn't be surprised if he did that.
he
It
did.
was
He
some
did.
type of vaccine that was touted to like for malaria or some dysentery.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't-
we should stop. Say cocktail. Some
Yes.
some sort of cocktail.
Oh, some
I
kind of
slipped, too.
cocktail. Did I use
It's
a bad word?
Yeah, it depends. What? Yeah, you can use it.
Okay.
I got a video killed because I used that word.
Dang, man, they're getting hot.
Yeah. They don't like it when you question the status quo.
Yes, they don't. But somebody's got to do it.
You just have to be smart about it.
Yes, we get in trouble all the time. But these videos here I'll make private because SoundCloud and them don't give a shit. They're on our side. Well, because
Just
SoundCloud.
look at the Medicare data. That's all I'm going to say. Just look at the Medicare data, and
I'm on Medicare.
No, there's data that shows excess deaths. I'll just leave it at that during a certain period of time. That's all.
So let's.
I'm
see
not
what
drawing a
this
conclusion.
says.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just.
What about like? Can I use the word ventilator? Like, does it
Yeah,
have
you can
anything?
use it.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk. I know exactly where you're going, but yeah, I wouldn't touch it.
Let's see. I don't know, but they did say a bunch of Indians want Bill Gates arrested.
Yeah, you'll get Klaus Schwab.
Yeah, why are Indians so angry with Bill Gates?
What does it
I
say?
heard he wasn't allowed to go back there.
They said he's been building up for a long time, is what they're saying. That they've been doing all kind of shit. Bill Gates' divorce and allegations of sexual misconduct. Well, who cares?
I mean, he was on Epstein. He was on Epstein's island. I mean,
Right.
then he got a divorce shortly after. So
yeah, because he told his wife, and she was like, "You pervert."
Right.
Look up.
That's how they control these people. That's how the elites control these people. They bring them on Epstein Island or places like that, and then they compromise them.
Yeah,
right.
And they say, "Okay, yeah, that's what they do."
Do you see that interview with Bill Gates?
And take pictures. What's that?
Did you see that interview with Bill Gates and how awkward he sounded when he was trying to answer? Like, yeah, I didn't know. Like, I mean, I wouldn't do it again.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't Windows and operating systems, and I do this and that.
Look up if the anything about sterilizations taking place at the hands of the Gates Foundation. Whatever, in India.
He's no, but they said that he got in trouble once because he wouldn't waive vaccinations to work for his company, and then he finally did. And
cocktails.
And then he did something about 110 million toilets in 5 years he was putting in, and I guess they were defective or something.
Oh, of course.
Yes. I think they gave you cancer or something. No, people, I'm just kidding. I don't think that's what that was. There's an endless list. I mean, his company's just been over there just shitting on the Indians left and right. I mean, we could talk about this list for a day. About how they do farming. There's all kind of stuff on here.
Is he out there buying all the farmland in India too?
No, he's
buying a lot of farmland in the United States, though.
Yeah, he's buying a lot in the United States. Him and Soros.
And owner now. He owns more farmland in the United States than any other entity.
Oh, so they said the Gates Foundation did not paralyze 300,000 children in India.
Not paralyzed.
No, I'm just saying that's what it says. Yeah, but it says this one says paralyzed. There was a rumor floating around that they paralyzed 300,000 children with a vaccine trial, is what it says.
A cocktail trial. So there was, I think it had something to do with like HPV or something.
There was a TED conference where he gave a talk. I'm quoting Reuters, by the way, in terms of source. All right, I'm going to code one word when I read this, okay? Because we've said the trigger word way too many times. Okay, so first we've got population. The world today has 6.8. I gotta talk like Kermit the Frog. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new cocktails, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there
Right?
we see an increase of about 1.3. So we do a great job on new cocktails and reproductive health services. Healthcare?
Wow.
How is healthcare going to reduce population? How are reproductive
abortions
health
will.
services going to reduce population? How are new cocktails going to reduce population? 10 or 15%.
Well, he's always been a big eugenics fan. I mean, he's not the only one. There are several of these.
I mean, that's what he said. I mean, he didn't use the word cocktail. He used a different word, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, but those cocktails could be. They could say, "Oh, it's to do this," but instead of that, it makes everyone sterile.
Exactly.
Well,
There's news out there somewhere. I read an article about it.
But what bothers me about all these cocktails is they always warn you, like, if you have a reaction to any of the ingredients of this cocktail, say your doctor. How do you know until you have the cocktail?
Well, but we ignore the cocktail part. Like when you talk about reproductive health services.
Yeah,
right?
they're physically.
He's talking about sterilizations, right? Sterilizations, abortions.
Yes.
Well, that actually sounds more like surgical sterilizations.
Sure.
Well,
I mean, reproductive health care is a broad umbrella. It could mean all
it sounds like physically taking your.
It could mean chemical sterilizations. It could mean.
Permission.
Yeah.
That's extremely brutal.
Yeah, he's a dark dude. He is a dark dude.
Yeah, him and his other fellows out there who want to use that eugenics. But I
watched a video one time where there was a video I watched where he was given some type of presentation, I believe, on those toilets that he was getting ready to install in India.
Oh my God.
And the dude comes up to the podium and starts talking about fecal matter. I'll put it in those words. And he pulls out a jar out of his pocket full of fecal matter, just like he walks around with it. Like, here I go. Here, check this out. What sane person walks around with a jar of poop?
No, well, somebody off stage just handed it to him right before.
Somebody that probably sips on it as like a snack.
Oh my God.
He likes it. That's straight up demonic, in my opinion.
It's kind of nasty, but I mean, Roger Mapplethorpe spread poop on canvases and called it art.
Yeah, there was that guy in Philly, Ed Savitz. Remember that guy?
Who?
Collected underwear. Ed Savitz in Philly.
Oh God,
remember that guy?
Vaguely.
Yeah, I wouldn't Google it.
He's like a panty raider. Every time he entered a woman's home when she wasn't looking, he stole a pair of panties.
No, it's worse than that. It wasn't women. It wasn't women.
Oh. Oh God! Don't even say it.
For all the evil that someone, like these big wigs do, that they put out into the world, they have to do something good to counter it, which is what they're touting with all of these, scientific breakthroughs and whatnot, but
well, I mean, just look at what's going on in the culture. It's all, if you step back and think about depopulation, it all suddenly makes sense. The growth rate's down. There's all sorts of chemicals in the environment, microplastics, things like that are reducing the potency of male sperm. People are basically chemically and surgically sterilizing themselves because they feel like they're, there's just a lot of, there's like psychological sterilization. There's all sorts of stuff. You have all these wars that are just kind of proceeding, unending. I don't think elites are that intelligent to do all this stuff. I feel like there's some other hidden hand that is behind all this. That is.
Well, there's always somebody involved.
What Lee was saying also.
They really truly believe too many people on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some people do.
How do you look at it? What is the official count? I mean, what is the safe official count on the planet?
I don't think they know. I don't think they know. But what these people don't understand is, like, you need people to actually do the work. And
well, no, they don't. I talk about that all the time. I say, okay, well, if you kill everybody, who's gonna plow your field? Who's gonna fix your air conditioner? Who's gonna?
Well,
fix
their
your
answer is robots, AI. That's their answer.
Yeah, well, that may or may not work. Who's going to fix the AI when it breaks down?
Exactly.
So, I mean, and they were hoping for this time, but their biggest problem is one, they just don't think the humans are going to go away because they want them to. In the end, they may go away because the humans outnumber them. I don't know, 5 million to 1. It's a dangerous game they're playing here.
Yeah, I mean, and it is shaky. It is shaky.
But the really big problem is so Trump is probably one of the few presidents that'll get in that's really not a controllable president because he's insane. But
yeah,
the real problem that's come to be lately is the Bilderbergs don't like the Skull and Bones. The Skull and Bones don't like the Bilderbergs or the Masons. The Masons don't like any of them. So the problem is trying to, if they would all get along, they would have already took control of this planet and we'd just be screwed. Yeah. But they can't get along well enough to get control of the planet.
Like typical, evil organization like Spectre or what was the one in Get Smart. They always try these elaborate plans to take over the planet, and they fail miserably because of just one dude.
Well, you never know. Like Sean might be out there shooting him and shit. But what's this one? Somebody just sent me. Mark Cuban warns Biden officials could boost the election chances, Trump's election chances. So, we always talk about Soros, but Mark Cuban's just as bad as Soros is. I mean, he's a piece of shit. I've seen him giving money to people who definitely shouldn't be getting money.
Oh, he'll be here?
Oh, and the girls were telling me, Michelle and Amelia were telling me last night that Trudeau let in 5,000 Hamas for training in his country.
Wait, 5,000 who?
Yeah. Hamas? For training in his country.
5,000 Hamas operatives in Canada?
He said he let him in for training in his country. I was talking to the girls about it. I said, are you sure what's going on?
Propaganda?
That's nuts.
That can't be
I don't know. She was sending me link after link after link.
The U.S. would have gone ballistic if that happened.
I would have thought they would have.
This isn't Palestinians. Like, I understand why Palestinians would be pissed. They have every right to be pissed. But Hamas?
So what I didn't understand, when they said,
what's his name, Osama bin Laden in the CIA, didn't we?
Yeah, we did train him, but
when they told me,
what's the difference?
We trained him in Afghanistan.
But when they told me there were 10,000 Chinese up there, 10,000. No, he went to college here, dude.
He went to college here. He got a
degree.
We
weren't training him. We weren't training him in blowing up bridges and stuff like that here.
No, here we were changing it.
We trained him to be an architect. An architect knows how to build buildings, and therefore, ergo, knows how to destroy them.
Yeah, but we didn't train him on how to place explosive charges.
No, we didn't train him in that. No, he just got an architect.
We probably did that. We probably did that in Afghanistan, but we didn't train him on U.S. soil for
But see, when the girls called and told me that there was 10,000 Chinese soldiers up there doing winter training, I was like, no way. Come to find out there was.
Well, I think they tried to come in, and the U.S. didn't. The U.S. said,
Trump. They were already in when we found out about it. Trump said, okay, as long as they have none of their guns, none of their weapons, and none of their equipment, they can stay for winter training. He said, if they get any of their weapons come in, we will consider that an act of war, and we will just invade Canada. That was his words exactly. And so he warned them outright. But that's Trudeau. Trudeau's a commie bastard. What's his name? Castro's granddaughter came out with the family stuff saying that Trudeau is definitely Castro's son. She said,
"We got like." She compare photos.
Yeah, well,
If
they
you
were
compare
showing
photos
pictures of him
and
when he
his-
was a baby, hanging out with his daddy and shit. How much
Yeah.
time she spent down there with him and the baby, and
Well,
so
his parents were swingers, like they were well known swingers.
oh yeah, well his dad
Yeah.
actually, they say when she got pregnant, she was down in Cuba for 8 or 10 weeks, and her husband was back up in Canada with his girlfriend, and that's when they say she got pregnant. And then if you compare him anywhere along the line of his growth to his, they look like fucking Bobsy twins.
Mhm.
But she said they've got all the paperwork, the hospital, everything. So I was like, damn. So, I mean, but it's worse than that. She said that when he leaves, when he's finished with Cuba, I mean, with Canada, he can come be the ruler of Cuba since he's Castro's son. He's the
Wow.
rightful heir.
Hmm.
We'd have to kill Trudeau.
Is he
He's an
really?
idiot.
Is he really Castro's son? I mean,
That's
I
what they
think he
say.
does look a lot
It really
like
does.
him.
He
I mean,
he
if you look at young, like pictures of both of them when they're young,
Yeah.
they look very
He
similar.
looks way
Yeah.
more like Castro than his supposed actual biological father.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. And
Yeah.
and now that the granddaughter's come out and said it's true, Trudeau can't really say anything because he's trying to get another term in Canada, which everybody's like, really?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: what's really weird is the world must be anticipating Trump because most of the governments, even including Scandinavian governments, have ditched their liberal government for conservative governments. They've been getting rid of them all over the place.
Well, I
So
think that's less about Trump and more about the complete uninterrupted invasion of immigrants, illegal immigrants.
Well, but yeah, that's part of it too. But I've always noticed in Europe, generally, whatever president looks like is going to win here is a government they end up with over there, and their elections before ours. Just like when Biden was running, it was pretty much they switched all to liberal. When Trump was in last time, it was 70% conservative. It's kind of weird, but it's easier for the world to run that way. When everybody's more in agreement and understanding. And Putin's already said, he's looking forward to Trump being back. But the White House made a boo-boo the other day. They were doing something, and the lady said something, and then she said, "Oh, when Trump's president." This is one of the White House officials said this.
Nope, they're
Yeah.
fired.
And,
They're done.
Well, yeah, they're done. But
Until Trump wins, and they'll get hired again.
But I think they really know. I think the polls they're seeing are far worse than the ones that we're getting from the press. Well, Jimmy, the press, like Newsweek, Newsweek is so liberal no matter what they do. So when you go look at the polls, which we're getting ready to do in a few minutes, when you go look at the polls, you'll notice the polls are saying one thing. Newsweek's like Wisconsin. Newsweek says, "Oh, they're tied in Wisconsin. Yeah. Oh, he's losing hard in New York and California. Well, of course he's losing hard in California. I mean, that's not like." But that tries to make it sound better. Oh, he's only one behind in Pennsylvania, or he's one up in Pennsylvania. I'm like, really? So I'm looking at the polls, going, The APC polls. I ran two of our polls this week. One made it to 61,000. One made it to 28,000. Both of them basically said the same thing. Trump is a 4-point favorite nationally in the country. And when I asked, and then one of the polls was just, what is what's making you vote? Is it immigration? Is it money? Is it abortion? What is it? Those 5 things I put on the list. Abortion, by the way, came in 5th. And I don't think if it was on the list, it would have even paged in. So I'm imagining most of them were Democrats. Economy was number 1. And there was lots of comments about, I would just like to be able to spend my check and get some food. And immigration was 2, which I was surprised, but I put on there security of the nation, which was 3, by the way. So I was surprised. So these are all things that Biden does poorly in. He just does poorly in.
Well, I mean, that shouldn't be surprising because we're sending all our money to Ukraine, and then we let 10 million people flood inside the border. We're not defending our own.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I did see. Let me see. Do I still have it? There was a link I just was reading a few minutes ago where the EU is thinking about not supplying money to the Ukraine anymore.
Wow.
And so that was interesting. What's this?
I'm telling you, mark my words. He's going to be at the banks of the Dnipro River by election time.
He needs to be somewhere because he knows if Trump gets in, he's got to get out.
He just offered a ceasefire if today, I think, or yesterday, if Ukraine
All this timing.
withdrew from Donetsk, the Donetsk region, Zaporizhia, and someplace else, then he would end all hostilities immediately.
But he would keep
to
all
me,
those characters.
Yeah, of course, but that tells me that this is the Ukraine's last chance before the Russian summer offensive. So the Russian summer offensive is imminent now.
Yeah, because they got to do something before Trump gets in, because he's pretty much said himself, if Trump becomes president, he's going to end the war. He don't want to be in a war when Trump is president.
Yeah, he doesn't want to fight America.
Well, because America may commit more. So it's and Trump may commit more serious weapons. If so I don't know. I think he wants that. He knows he's had enough relationships with Trump that he knows he's an ass, and that he wants this over with. And so I think they'll try to get it wrapped up before he becomes president. Hopefully, they'll get it wrapped up before he becomes president. Americans are tired of giving money to the Ukraine. I mean, they're not completely tired, but they're not real happy. But if you ask them, who would you rather give it to, the Ukraine or Israel, they say the Ukraine.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is kind of surprising.
Wave of anti-Semitism going through the country.
Yeah, and that's to do with the Democrats, but yet the Israelis vote for the Democrats. You just got to wonder how stupid. So the Democrats are out there hating on the Israelis every way they can, but the Israelis are loyal to them to vote for them. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
and the Israelis aren't exactly doing themselves any favors either by influencing the U.S. electorate to vote for, like ridiculous anti-free speech bills, like that law that they passed, not law, but bill they passed in Congress. Like literally, it swayed me. I was pro-Israel until they did that, and I'm like, you know what? You guys can kill each other. I don't care.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things we're gonna have to see how it all pans out, because I can't really hate on the Israelis for going over there and stomping people's heads into the ground because.
I don't hate them. I can't support them after they tried to take away free speech rights from Americans. Like, that's unacceptable to me. That's not a friend. It's not an enemy, but it's not a friend.
No, it's not a friend. Let's see. IPS Reuters poll. Trump is up by 1 point. IPS Reuters poll. Trump is up by 1 point. IPS Reuters poll. This is all on June 12th. Trump is up by 2 points.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you they're gonna manipulate it so it looks closer and closer and closer?
Well, no. So Reuters
stuff. Right?
Now, so in Reuters last week, Trump was losing. Reuters is blue as you can get. They're solid blue. So that's what I was saying the other day. Anytime you start seeing like NBC and CNN and Reuters polls shifting to Trump, the Democrats are in trouble. See, this isn't something they can lie their way out of. Anytime their own polls are showing they're losing, if they try to pull some shit. Besides,
I don't know. Have you seen January 6th? I mean, they lied their way out of that one. Right?
Yeah, but that's
lied
because
their way out of so many things at this point that I think they
they let them do it.
Liars, that's for sure.
Like
they let them do it.
Shameless liars. If like all these guys, the guy was on the intelligence committee. He had intelligence that said the opposite of what he was telling the American people. Shameless, no apologies, nothing. Just keeps going on, does the same thing.
That's because we won't put people into like Garland's place with integrity. People who don't care what party you are, if you've got, they're coming after you.
But
that's
the
not what
way
you
the
see.
system's set up, though, you'd have to be a crazy person to be a politician now, because everything's going to be uncovered in your life. You're going to be lawfare.
Most of them already are.
Right? I mean, look at all the lawyers who just deigned to defend Trump. They're all being sued right now. They're all being lawfared into oblivion just for taking on a legal case. It's messed up. So anybody with like a shred of IQ would not would stay the hell away from running for public office. It's sheer insanity right now.
Well, they would in certain places. Some places it's a lot different. Let's see. Echelon insights two different ones. One has Trump up by 1 point. One has Trump up down by 1 point. By the way, so far that is the only one that has Biden ahead by 1 point. U.S. government, this had Trump down by 2 last week. Trump is up by 2 this week. That's a 4-point turnaround. Here we go again. McCullen and Associates, Trump was down. He is up by 3. He is up by 4. He is up by 3. He's up by 5. He's up by 4. Oh man, it's I mean these are all lefty polls. He's up by 5 points in some of these polls. Shit, he's up by the Atlantic by 6 points. The Tyson Group by 10 points. See, so damn, Harris X, he's up by 29 points.
Wow.
And the other one, he's up by 32 points. It's going to be hard for the Democrats this time. Last time was a little bit different because everybody wanted Trump gone. So everybody was more willing to let it slide. This time they want Trump back, so they're not going to be willing to let it slide. Plus, that company with the machines who were suing Trump for whatever, all of a sudden stopped suing him and retracted everything, which means the DA or the judge said, well, you're going to have to turn in this information, right, to prove what you're saying. So I think they realized that they were busted and turned it around. So now everybody's on their ass. It's going to be a lot harder to cheat this time. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be a lot harder. And I don't think the Americans are going to go over as easily either. I think they're going to be more like, we're not really buying this.
Doesn't he have like sentencing coming up?
July 11th.
So what is he? What do you think is going to come of that?
I was telling them I think he's going to probably get house arrest.
He's probably they're probably going to try to put him in jail somewhere or some kind of incarceration. Maybe not. The actual prison facilities, but somehow.
I think they're going to give him. I think they're going to give him they'll either suspend his sentence, which they can do, or they'll give him house arrest with whatever conditions because he's running for election.
So what is he going to do? Like zoom in to debates, or is he not going to be allowed to participate in the debates?
I think he'll be able to fly. Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Because 2 days is the Republican convention.
They better think through this very carefully, because they are messing with the fundamental integrity of the republic.
And a lot of people watch this. A lot of people aren't happy about this. It doesn't matter really what side. Even Democrats are kind of thinking this. Because the Democrats are now thinking, every time we do something to the Republicans, they end up down the line using it against us. And Republicans right now are thinking about this. Especially like if you're a Democrat in a red state, you may find yourself in a world of shit.
Yeah.
So it's a dangerous thing here. What's that about D.C.? Well, no, D.C. sometimes falls in the Southern appellate courts. It don't always go to the Yankees. Sometimes, it's at the Mason-Dixon line, my friend. It don't always go that way. It's right now. Every appeals court he's going to see, I think that there's 3 of them, 4 of them, will be nothing but Democrats. And so we won't get a solid appeal on Trump until it gets to the Supreme Court, which it will eventually. And they will overturn the decision. They'll probably suspend the decision based on false information or a case being out of date. Because nobody agrees with the way they did this, took it out of the statute of limitations. And as far as I know, you're not even allowed that once a case reaches a statute of limitation to remove it. Why have a statute of limitations if you can do this? So I don't exactly know. I do know some of the Democratic judges, though, were talking about this stank to high heaven. So we'll see what happens. Because a lot of these guys' jobs are going to be on the line after this. They can be fired. They can say, well, you know what? We didn't like the decisions you made here, so get the hell out. We're going to put some red people up in there. And it's not even saying that Trump might not take New York. It's a good chance. It's right now. It's 50-50 if he's going to take New York. I mean,
Was he
last
winning New
time,
York last week though?
no, he's not. He hasn't won it yet. He's So last year he finished up at 46% of the New York vote was Trump's. That means he only missed the state by 5 points. A red Republican in the city in the state of New York only missed winning the state by 5 points. And then I see they tried to change the numbers, but we kept all the stats from the last election. We keep them in we have a thing for elections. So we pulled them back out just to show everybody. They were like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, they were trying. I mean, they were trying. Some of these companies just want to lie to you. All right, so what we got right now, let's see, 270 to win. Trump is up by 1 point. It actually says he's only up by 0.4 of a point, but this thing says he's up by 1 point. Let's see, Politico. So y'all know what Politico is, right? Have y'all ever read Politico?
No.
Politico is as blue as you can ever possibly get. I mean, they are just the epitome of blue. They will lie. They're like Salon. They will lie and I shouldn't say lie. Let's just say they misdirect and a lot of bait and switch and stuff like that. So the Politico poll, which just a few weeks ago had Biden up by 5 points, have them at a dead heat. Actually, with Trump edging him actually by a little bit. The next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 polls. Actually, no. All of these polls are actually blue polls. So economist.gov is definitely blue poll. The Morning Consultant is CBS YouGov, Yahoo.gov, Emerson College. These are all blues. So we've got Civic Cukes is a tie. The next one, Trump is up by 2 points. Economist.gov, Trump is up by 2 points. Morning Consultant, Biden is up by 1 point. CBS, we all know who CBS.gov is. He is down by 1 point. Biden is. Yahoo Trump is down by 2 points. Emerson, Trump is up by 2 points. Emerson again, they're tied, and Emerson again, and Morning Consultant, Trump is up by 1 point. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of the 12 polls here, Trump has 8, Biden has 4. And then out of those 4, 2 are actually ties. I don't know what to think here, guys. And remember, none of these have Kennedy in them, okay? I just will scroll down to where they have Kennedy. So now let's see what the thing is. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. They didn't even put, oh, yeah, they did. So look at this cheesy shit. They got all of them with Kennedy, and they put Trump last where you can't see
him. Wow. Does
because,
that actually help them?
Well, you want to know why? Because out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 polls, Trump is winning all but one. So in polls where he was tied, he's now up by 2 points. I mean, everywhere you go, he's up, he's up, he's up, he's up, he's up, he's up. So Biden's got 2, Trump's got 8, 9. I'm sorry, there must be 11 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, no, that's 12. Trump's got 9. 9 of the 12 belong to Trump.
Well, guys, I think I'm going to head out. I'm starting to fade. I've been up since 5, so.
And Kennedy's got an average of 7%. Look at Kennedy. Go, Kennedy. Yeah, we got about 20 minutes yet. So anywhere there's Kennedy, Biden's getting his ass slaughtered. It's not even a race. And I guess as long as he stays in it, it's going to be that way. I did remember when Vegas said that the other day. They figured Trump was going to win no matter what. But if Kennedy stays in, they figured Trump's going to win big. That's the numbers they were given, was it 2 weeks ago or a week ago, actually. And they said they didn't think that the case was going to hurt him out. They thought it was going to help him, but it didn't hurt him. Okay, let's go see. Open up. Let's not put this on screen. This might have got thrown off last time. Nope, that ain't it. I was trying to look for, get off of here thing. I was looking for the 270 map. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see. So these are your swing states, Arizona, Nevada. They're all gray colored. Oh, and Newsweek tried to say he was going to lose Florida. Florida's pretty solid red from what I see. Let's see. Republicans are ahead in those. So let's go see. He's ahead in all of them. Georgia, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona. He's ahead in all the swing states. Damn. That's. But yet, every time I see a liberal anything, oh no, he's not. No, he's not. He's tied, and that's their thing now because they can't say that Biden's winning because it's an outright lie. Oh, he's tied. Yeah, he's tied. Yeah, look, people, he's tied. Y'all can be you're full of shit is what you are. I really don't know why we put up with this crap.
They need to have a narrative that they, get engaged in some
Okay, here's the new CNN
sleight of
numbers.
hand. They have to be able to explain it away.
Let's see. Here's here's an article on CNN. Joe Biden's running the country. Let me get back in. I hope Joe Biden ain't running the country. I mean, Jill, you're a school teacher. And I don't have nothing personally against you.
I'd rather him be running the country than the clowns that are.
Well,
Are you kidding me? You got like Susan Rice. You got Jake Sullivan. You got who's that? What's his name?
Susan
Austin.
Rice is an idiot, man.
Secretary of Defense Austin, who's also a moron. Blinken. Those are the people who are running the country right now.
And Blinken's another idiot. It's some of these people. I don't even know where they got them from. It was like they must have had. They just must have had been owing them money or something. Then let them in. Let's see what Real Clear Politics has to say. Latest polls: presidential general election polls 2024. Arizona, California. Oh, so we're going to do it this way? All right, we'll do it this way. So we know Arizona is a swing state. Trump is up by 7. And with Kennedy, he actually goes down a couple of points. Look at that. Biden is winning California by 24 points. Oh, wait, I heard a blink. Who blinked? Oh, Leah blinked. Okay. Welcome back. Okay,
I need to get a computer of some kind. I need some type of something that I can do this not on a cell phone.
Yeah, we need to send you that laptop that's sitting over there not doing anything. It's so general election as of Thursday, June 13th. Reuters IPS. I mean, Reuters is as blue as you can get. Trump is up by 2 points. General election. Utah, Trump is up by 32. Pennsylvania, another swing state, Trump is up by 2. General election. Why is that a tie? Oh, that's daily, whatever crap thing. Kennedy, Biden. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the swing states thing. Ohio, no, Minnesota. Minnesota, why are you voting for Biden? Really? I mean, what the hell goes on up there I don't know about? CBS News. Trump, 50, Biden, 48. Virginia, holy shit, he's tied with Biden in Virginia. That can't be good there. I mean, that's a blue state now. Not sure how it's a blue state, but it is. Let's see.
Isn't it close to DC?
Yeah, it's right there. We talked about that last time. All them people from DC are moving there. It's really a pretty state. It's just it's a state that's close, but it's still a blue state. Um, let's see. General election, general election, general election, general election. Every swing state I see, he's up by a couple of points in. So I'm not sure where Newsweek was getting its numbers. And then, of course, right now, as of 2013 at midnight, he is up by 2 points in the general election. That's like being up 10 points.
How's he going to run for president from house arrest?
Just the way he's been running, why he's been going to jail. I mean, why he's been going all over the other place. It's I think they'll have to make an exception and let him travel, though. I don't know if they can keep him from traveling. So, general election polls from Reuters all the way through Rosman. Trump is losing in 2 and tied in 2. When you add Kennedy and Trump is winning in every one.
Well, they're certainly going to try to stop him. I mean, these people have over and over again have done like incredibly ridiculous and stupid things. So
well, yeah, I mean, the only really way he can stop him is to put Trump in jail. And I just don't think the country is going to go for it. I just don't think you're going to.
The country won't go for it, but these idiots might try it.
And since he's in Florida, I don't know how you're going to get him to New York, put him in jail anyway. Send the Rangers down to get him. I don't know if the Rangers would put Trump in jail. So you got to watch stuff like this because this could start a problem because people are going to start swinging around him, start protecting him. This is just dangerous. And this judge has to know this. Go ahead, babe.
Someone told me recently if I want to see some real like angry, sad people, just wait for the election day.
Oh yeah. When Trump won the first time, all them people, I spent 3 weeks going, when are you leaving? When are you packing? I even wrote a note to Whoopi Goldberg, what you still doing in the country? I'm like, get out of my country. Let's see. Congressional ballot, the Republicans are winning. Generic ballot, the Republicans are winning. Okay. Well, where am I at? Oh, I'm on Real Clear Politics, and they're all for Trump. I mean, they're not pro-Trump, but I mean, their numbers are all for Trump. So, when is Trump going to pick his VP? Just in case he wins and he ends up in jail, we need a VP to run the country.
What if he's like, I'll be my own VP?
No, I don't think he can do that, but he can. He can. It's got to pick somebody good. I mean, I want to see somebody good. Let's see. Oh man, when you stretch out all of the polling companies, Jesus, Trump is killing Biden. You see like a blue every 5 red.
Why does Ron DeSantis always look like he's on the verge of tears?
Because his wife is dying of cancer.
Oh dang. Okay, that's valid.
Or she was. I don't know if she still is. So I don't want to say it in in-house context. So general election, Biden versus Trump. Trump is up by 1 point. So Wisconsin, which is of course a swing state, Trump is up by 0.5%, which he was down by a point last week. Pennsylvania, he is up by 2 points. Of course, those are all swing states. Matter of fact, that's almost enough for him to win right there. Let's see. Nevada. Oh, shit. He's winning Nevada by 6 points. That's a swing state, by the way. Georgia. Oh, shit. He's winning Georgia by 5 points. Oh, guys. I don't know. He's even winning Michigan where he was losing them on everywhere else. So, guys, right now, we're going to leave that alone and get back to talking some more fun stuff. But currently, if you go by this week's polls dated 2013, Trump is still currently the winner in the national polls by about a point and winner in all the swing states by at least 4. So we already know what states he's going to take. The red states he's taking and they're pretty solid. So he takes all, and right now, let's say he's going to take all the swing states. This is a freaking landslide. He might actually win the popular vote and the. I can't even tell you the last time a Republican won the popular vote. What's that, Christopher? Oh, you mean maybe they should stuff some
Well,
ballot votes? I don't know. Maybe they
if
will.
it was a popularity contest, then I mean, by far, Trump has more popularity than, you know.
Well, nobody could understand last time how he didn't win, and all my friends got mad at me because I wouldn't take up for him. I said, because I said before, he said it was going to happen and he let it happen. I said he should have had people working all those places nonstop, 24/7. He should have never gave the Democrats a way to cheat. And he did, or he didn't. I mean, I don't know if they cheated or not, but he didn't do due diligence, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Well, I don't know if they cheated, but I think somebody else
did
put their finger on the dial, and it was
something seemed not to go the way it was supposed to.
We have organizations within the United States who throw elections globally. I would not be surprised if they were involved.
Oh, if they tried to work here, we know they work everywhere else. Let's see. Hammer has struck another Russian BUK missile system. Oh, yeah, they were showing that some of our missiles wiped out some of Russia's $50 million pieces of hardware. Russia's got to be pissed.
Did we take out one of those early warning systems again?
Yeah, we took another one out. $51 million.
Who is the idiot running our government? Could you imagine if someone took out one of our early warning radars for nuclear weapons? Our finger would be like shaking on the trigger.
Yeah, it would. We'd be pissed.
Like whoever is authorizing this, like, is like flirting with nuclear war and is an idiot. Is objectively a stupid moron.
This is Biden allowing this to go on. So Biden said the other day he was going to give them other weapons that could strike even deeper into Russia.
That means we're losing, right? That means that like the Ukrainians are losing. That's the clearest sign that they're losing. That we're willing to risk a nuclear war in order to prevent them. Why would we care if they? We don't. What are we giving? I mean, really, when it comes right down to it, what do we give a shit other than the food basket? What do we give a shit if the Ukraine loses? Russia's still going to sell the damn wheat to China. I mean, to Europe. Yeah. So I mean, I don't understand why we really give it. Because the people in power don't want to lose. They don't want to lose, and they're willing to sacrifice us all just so that they don't.
Wow.
Let's see. So they were showing pictures of what they think is going to be our new 6th generation jet. Boy, it looks an awful light like a TR-3B. A little bit sleeker, but it looks an awful lot like a TR-3B. They got one that's smaller as a fighter and one that's bigger as a bomber. So I think the TR has been around. Well, I've been investigating it for 35 years. Finally, the bitch is going to get to be seen.
Hungary. Is it Andy Gravitic or not?
It's I'm not exactly sure what it. So when you hear people talk about it, it can go into space and it doesn't have to rotate or anything to have gravity. So whatever type of drive it's using creates gravity, or its type of power it's using does. And inside the atmosphere, it seems to. So it seems like at first it seemed like they were talking about like a ram scoop engine, but that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about some type of maybe magnetic field or gravity field or a combination of the two. But that's what it seems to be. Now, when it gets into space, it seems to be a different type of propulsion altogether, some type of plasma drive. But this, they say, most people say, and they also say it's one of the reasons your watch freaks out so bad because of the magnetic fields underneath the craft. But it also explains why it's so quiet because there's no turbines or anything. And that's not all hearsay. I mean, some of the people I know actually work there, so it's not complete hearsay. And matter of fact, I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day I was talking to her sister actually, and she was telling me there's a lot of new projects coming out. A lot of stuff that she says have been sitting on the floor are going to actually be coming out over this year and next year. I'm kind of waiting to see what they are. I got an idea what they are, but it'd be nice to see them. And then, the 6th-gen space jet is supposed to be out sometime next year, too. And it does kind of look like the a bladed TR-3B. Instead of, TR-3Bs are a little thicker. This thing kind of looks like it's sleeker all the way around, but it still looks like a TR-3B. And so can you imagine a jet using an anti-gravity drive or a magnetic drive inside the atmosphere? It means they could achieve all kind of outrageous speeds. Hypersonic isn't shit. And then they shoot themselves into space using our gravity or magnetic and then drop back down anywhere around the world in a matter of minutes. That's a wicked-ass weapon.
Mm-hmm.
That's a wicked weapon. And I guess we're going to finally make it public. I guess we're getting tired of China and Russia talking shit. China defense minister says U.S. and China should not get into any kind of confrontation. It is bad for both countries, and it's a no-win situation. Well, I wouldn't say that, but we're not going to get into.
I mean, it is no win. Like millions of people would die on either side.
Yeah, they don't even have hardly any nukes. I mean, we just wipe them out and be done with it. So I was showing Linda last night where the majority of China's population is. So 7 nukes could kill 1 billion Chinese. 7 nukes, that's it. Or 7 neutron bombs. 1 billion Chinese.
They're mostly on the coast, right? And along the Yangtze River.
So yeah, and there's just places that would be easy. Plus, if you targeted them right, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Three Gorges Dam would kill 300 million.
But the way the nukes would fall out, the radiation, the way it would move, would kill the rest of it. The initial strike would kill, I think they said, right around 400 million. And then the contamination over the next 2 weeks would kill another 600 million. Now, the people who live on the west side of China would probably survive because it's mostly rural. And so China's very vulnerable to an attack. They're not like us. We're just really spread out. I mean, we have major cities all over the place with major weapon systems all over the place. So 5 nukes is not going to be enough. 5 nukes be barely enough to kill the 63 million at the top of the country. But Russia got the nukes to do it. What is this? Dark Times. James Webb Telescope just discovered 2 of the farthest galaxies ever seen. And I remember when they said galaxies didn't form near the beginning of time. Oh, guess what? They were wrong. Sorry, guys. Scientists screw up a lot. I'm not hating on scientists. They're just wrong more than they're right. But I believe in science when anybody writes to me.
If they weren't so arrogant, it would be
easier, yeah. Democrats want the 2020 race to change. Republicans hope it doesn't. Yeah, right now, according to, who is this? U.S. elections, Trump has maintained and is maintaining a steady lead of Biden. All indicators indicate that Trump will be our next president. And so you have 3 polling groups signing off on this: NBC, CNN, and the Washington Post. Jesus. Well, that's 3 of the biggest liberal things in the country, and they're saying he's going to be our next. I have been noticing a lot of the liberals have been, a lot of the liberal companies have been resetting themselves and restructuring themselves. They think he's going to win too. And this, I love this. Putin's nuclear arsenal is crumbling. The Ukraine could take it out for good. Okay. Oh, we're going to let the Ukraine go. I mean, they've got 2,500 nukes on missiles. They got another 25 warheads just sitting around, but they got 2,500. Unless they're lying, they got 2,500 nukes sitting on warheads. We're just going to. And now, granted, most nukes, if you blow them up, won't explode, but still, that's risky business shooting nukes.
Who wrote that article, or who even suggested?
Let me go back and look.
That's insane. Whoever wrote that is insane.
The story by Hamish D. Breton Gordon, and what group is he with? The Telegraph.
Brits.
It's I'm not, Ukraine should now strike targets within Russia. Ministry of Defense of Russia says. It's believed now that with American and European weapons that the Ukraine could easily take out China's mobile missiles around their country as well as their strategic target missiles. Nothing they could do for their submarines, though. I don't. You're asking to get killed. You start blowing up Russia's nukes, they're going to nuke you with one of them. You can take that to the freaking bank. I mean, really? They're going to nuke your ass. I mean, how stupid can you be? And we're not going to do anything about it because you were blowing up their nukes. Sometimes I really wonder what idiots are running around on this planet. I just wonder. China freaked. U.S. Air Force launched 24 F-22 stealth fighters in a massive Raptor Walk. Look at these. These planes are beastified looking. They make the F-35 look like a hunk of crap. Why we didn't build more of these is beyond me. The exercise demonstrated forward deployed delivery, overwhelming combat power, featuring the F-22 Raptor, a C-17 Global Master 3, and E-3 Century. These 24 could have easily taken on the entire Chinese Air Force. What? Damn, China, you must have a crappy Air Force.
Well, they just have no experience.
That's true, too. So originally there was supposed to be 750 of these units. Only 187 were built.
Actually, to be fair, though, our Air Force and our Navy really don't have much experience at all peer-to-peer air combat either.
Not since. No, because even in Desert Storm, there wasn't much in the way of dogfighting.
Yeah, so not since Vietnam, and even then, it probably wasn't very.
Most of our stuff, and the Raptor now, the way the Raptor's built, it can see you long before you can see it, so it doesn't. It doesn't have to see you to kill you. Plus, I was reading the other day, the Navy has designed a new hypersonic stealth missile. So we're going to be shooting hypersonic stealth missiles at people now. I'm just like, and then they were showing this one drone that wiped out another Russian ship. They're not even going to have the Black Fleet anymore, the Black Sea Fleet. Pretty soon it's just going to be sunk. I don't know what it is with Russia ain't learned its lesson about sailing ships up in there. So let's see, what is this? Harvard scientists expect we might have an advanced alien society living amongst us. Well, that's me and Sean and Leah. That's why. Y'all haven't figured that out yet?
I actually interviewed one of those guys on my podcast, Dr. Michael Masters.
Oh, I know Michael. Been a long time since I talked to him now.
Yeah, most of them are affiliated with Harvard, but they're not like. I think it got pulled too. Like it was published and then it was almost instantly pulled.
Well, what's his name? Oh, he was the first Harvard scientist he risked his tenure over alien abduction.
I know exactly. John Mack, yeah.
And so he's, Harvard's actually stepped out a couple of times and said, hey, look, there may be extraterrestrial life. And now that the government's kind of got their finger up their ass talking about it, it's a little easier for some scientists and some scholars to come out and say, it's possible. U.S. faces new challenges, China's Megaport in South America. Because you're an idiot, Biden. Nobody else would have let him have one.
Whatever happened to the Monroe Doctrine? What the hell?
I don't know. I know the way I understand it, with the exception of Venezuela and Cuba, the rest of us are all supposed to play nice and not allow this kind of shit to happen. Because I know they had been selling minerals to China, and the U.S. forced them into stop. And so I don't know. This is more Biden just. Oh, what are you talking about, man? What? South America? What about South America? That's like on the other side of the planet. What do we care? Really?
But it's not Biden. He's not in charge. It's like Susan Rice and
it's one of his other idiots.
Jake Sullivan. Yeah.
And we're not real happy with him doing business with Peru. And Trump will put a stop to that. He'll be like, no, that's too close to our door. Right now, I can bet your ass if Trump was president right now, we would not have 3 cruises in a nuclear-powered Russian submarine sailing around in Cuba. I mean, people, in case y'all didn't know, Cuba's inside of the U.S. coastal waters. It's only from the bottom of Key West. It's only 70 miles away, which puts it inside our coastal waters. The bitch part is from that harbor where that submarine's parked. If it's got hypersonic missiles or any of those do, they can be in D.C. in under 15 minutes. It's highly unlikely we'd be able to stop them.
Is that really a bad thing, though?
Well,
If it's just DC,
we're just saying,
is that really bad?
Not if some people are there and some other people aren't. But
I'm just kidding. People who are listening, and
yes, we all love our fearless leaders. Earth core seems to be wrapped in a ancient, unexpected structure. What the hell is that? See, I'm not even going to read that because that's one of the bait clicks. I bet you $5.
Yeah, it's just clickbait. That's it.
That's what it is. Let's see. What do we got here? Donald Trump's chances of beating Biden in Wisconsin, according to polls. He's going to win. Okay, we already knew that. What is this one? Vladimir Putin issues bombshell to the Ukraine war ceasefire plea is 2 conditions are met. Okay, who wrote this? Vladimir Putin issues bombshell Ukraine. Oh, y'all are missing something there. War ceasefire's plea if 2 conditions are met. Who? People, you're supposed to be professionals. Who the fuck wrote this crap? This comes from the dailyexpress.us by Sam Obsterman and Chris Samuel. Well, you motherfuckers need to go back to school and learn how to type. Anyway, I'll be nice about it. Vladimir Putin has promised a ceasefire with the Ukraine and Zelensky if he agrees to 2 conditions. That's to be his little bitch. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I don't think he's going to go for that, Putin, but we'll see. The Russians depose his said honor ceasefire agreement, withdraw troops from occupied regions, and renounce plans to join NATO. So that's his 2 conditions? So renouncing the NATO, that's not a big deal because he could just become a protector of the United States. So how many territories does Putin have now? I know he's got Crimea. Didn't he take like 2 or 3 other places?
What do you like?
Other territories, because he's basically saying if Zelensky won't join NATO and takes all of his troops out of I guess, the occupied places, then the war is over with.
Yeah, but Zaporizhia is quite a bit farther west, right? It's like that entire southeastern portion. It's where that nuclear power plant is.
Yeah.
So it's like that entire, it's more territory than was in dispute at the beginning of all this.
So let's see. Ukraine strikes on Crimea air defenses could end its role as Russia's military staging ground. See, Russia just keeps getting, dude, here's another big pile of tanks. They're just losing equipment and people at an outrageous rate. We've given them some pretty serious missiles and some pretty serious mortars. Not mortars. What's the other one? Shit. What the hell are they called? It's not mortars, not a missile. It's damn. It'll come to me eventually. China offloads $23 billion in US Treasuries, an unprecedented move that sends strong message to Biden. That's what it sends to Biden. Look at these clown ass pictures they got going on here. Both these leaders look like idiots. And because China needs the money, that's why China did it. See, that's what's so funny to me. You read the story, and they're trying to make you think that he did this to punish the United States or to do bad harm to the United States. He did this, ladies and gentlemen, because his country is falling apart and he needs the money. $53 billion. You got to remember, he's trying to keep a military growing now. He had all this money when he was building this military, and now howitzers, that's what I was trying to think of. Anyway, he's building this military. Now he's going to have to stop. He doesn't have the money anymore. So he's got to have a lot of half-built ships, a lot of half-built this. He's not going to be able to, he's only got 2 carriers. One's a complete hunk of shit. And the other one is about the same class as a Nimitz class. It's not a Bush or whatever the new class is. It's no, and it's a nice. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice carrier, but it's not. It's about the same class as the Nimitz class carrier. It's not like the big dogs we have now, the 2 or 3. Don't forget, they always talk about we have 11 or 12 carriers, but that's not exactly true. The Marines have Harrier carriers, and the National Guard actually has 2 carriers for Harriers and stuff. So those are actually carriers too. So there's a few more than people think we have. And the Marines use jump jets, or whatever you want to call them these days. Well, they call them jump jets back then because they were Harriers, and that's why they call them Harrier carriers, because they were Harrier jets. Now it's the F-35 with vertical lift and takeoff. Yeah, jump jets. I don't. What are we gonna do? We all love us some. Well, we got like 3 more stories, and then. I don't like more Cuban or Soros. I think both of them are anti-American, to be honest with you. What is this? Oh, what is this? WSJ opinion: Joe Biden's 2024 election bribes. So he's giving out bribes. Why does that not even surprise me that somebody said that? Handing out money, that's what it says. Oh, he says he's using Treasury money. Yes, we know all about the student loans and all of that wonderful stuff that we did. That's not going to help him. Young people still think he's a moron. Look, people. I'm sorry, y'all got behind. Why isn't there no young people in the Democratic Party? I mean, when Trump goes, the next couple that they put up are going to be fairly young. I mean, Ron DeSantis is going to be in there. You might see some other names in there, and. What do you mean? Jeb Bush ain't gonna run again. Jeb said no, he didn't want to get involved in this anymore. Sir, our aircraft carrier was destroyed. How stealth submarine killed a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. Yeah, in a simulation. So people, write that kind of stuff. No. Actually, Bruce, if a carrier was sunk by a sub, our jets would just bomb it out of existence. Oh, no, we can track subs from air. Oh, yes, we most certainly can. And we'd just be dropping torpedoes on top of it until we killed it. Pelosi, Harris is safeguard if GOP challenges election. What? What is Harris going to do? Okay, I'm confused. So they're saying that Biden could be forced to step down if he wins, and then Harris could be president.
Why would he be forced to step down if he wins? Because of his cognitive disabilities?
Because they want to have the first woman president, and she can't win on her own. She'd be the first woman and woman of color as president. And the Democrats could get that without ever having to have her run for office.
Why are they going after these accolades instead of going after a leader that is actually credible? And
because nobody worth a shit wants to run the country. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this before. Anybody who is intelligent enough to run the country is already making far more money than they're going to get paid running the country. And
without the aggravation of running the country, i.e. getting lawfared to death.
It's so I mean,
how did you guys feel about the Andrew Yang candidate back in the day?
The who?
Yang. He was Asian. I don't know of what descent, but
he was the give money away guy.
Yeah, he was the one about universal basic income.
Yeah, not a fan.
I don't know about no universal basic income. I think that just make people poor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Country
and
can't-
lazy.
Isn't
It makes
that
people
like
lazy.
what's going on? Wouldn't that be considered socialism?
Yeah, it's 100% socialism.
Yeah.
Oh, Donald Trump said he saw a UFO.
What?
Like
Yeah, that's what it
something
just
flying in
said.
the sky?
Donald Trump's UFO mission raises eyebrows, is what the article actually says.
Wait,
This
what?
is a new
When did he
article.
see a UFO?
That's what I'm looking at right now. It says in recent interview with former President Donald Trump, he addressed the topic of unidentified flying objects, confirming that he is often asked about the topic. Okay, that doesn't mean shit, dude.
Yeah,
Trump
he
noted
didn't.
his unconventional approach to candidate remarks, touched on seeing things that could maybe be a UFO. Knowledge of
Yeah,
UFO.
he never saw a UFO. He was just interviewed, and he said that he actually said he didn't believe they exist, but he does not doubt the credibility of pilots who have seen these strange things.
Well, in this one, he says he's seen something that would be classified as a UFO, but UFO only means unidentified flying object, so that's slick on his part. That's what that is. But said Paul in the podcast he met pilots from country. Yeah, he definitely believes what the pilots were saying.
Yeah.
And he says that this was part of the reason spaceports came into be, is to help look for other life than us.
Yeah, they know. This stuff is just killing me. They know
Well, some
already.
people know, but they don't readily tell presidents. So some presidents get to know, but a lot of presidents don't. Obama didn't know. Clinton didn't know. Clinton did everything but give somebody a blowjob to find out, and he still couldn't know.
What about Jimmy
Reagan
Carter?
knew.
Didn't he know?
No, Carter didn't know. Carter was only a first-term president. They never even tell Democrats. They told one Democrat, and after that, it's been all Republicans since. Ronald Reagan knew.
Yeah,
but only because of Daddy Bush. Daddy Bush was in the CIA, and when he became VP, he told Donald Trump, because Donald Trump asked for a tour of Area 51. And when they refused him, he said, how did he say it? He said, I will show up out there with the military and you will give me my tour. So they had to give him a tour of Area 51. As far as I know, the only president to ever go to Area 51. And that's all been pretty much scrubbed away from anything.
Didn't Eisenhower threaten to send like a division there because they wouldn't let him visit Area 51?
Yeah. They told him he didn't have the classification to visit Area 51.
Eisenhower?
Yeah.
He's a five-star general.
That's what they told Reagan, too. They told Clinton that, and Clinton just went along with it. You don't have the classification to come here. Because their excuse
I would love to be told that. I would spin up like the 4th Infantry Division, the 1st Cavalry Division, and they said,
well, no, they'd have to take him to court first. They said it's because they're only temporary and only the people who are full-time should be able to know what this is about. I was like, that's a bullshit is what that is about. The president of the United States should know if we got damn aliens or not. And Reagan said, basically, Reagan thought we did. So, and then there was a rumor that Reagan went out to Area 53, which is where Charles Hall said the tall whites were. And I didn't know. See, that's what's so funny to me. So when I originally heard this about Ronald Reagan, I was like, Area 53. It took me a while. I had to get on the map and look and see where it was. Well, it never dawned on me again until I met Charles Hall, and he said there was aliens at Area 53.
Do you believe that, though? He's like the only guy talking about tall whites.
Well, he's not the only guy, but it is suspicious that a president went there. So that gives you, but he's not the only one. And so when I first listened to him, I always said this about Charles Hall. I always thought that whatever it was that happened to him, he believed it no matter what. I don't think he was trying to lie to anybody. I think he believed it. So for me, it was always about, man, something else probably happened. Maybe, some other problem went on or something.
Maybe some MK Ultra experiment.
And I thought that too. I thought things like that. And then all of a sudden, it was the second time on my show, I had a state trooper call me from Nevada that worked at the casino where they said they went. And I had mentioned the name of the casino on air. I just mentioned it was a casino. So he called me, told me where he worked. I was like, wow. He said, no, we've seen these. He said, I can't play any film. He said, because it'll be instantly suspicious. He said, but other people have seen him too. A couple of weeks later, then had another state trooper who was on duty there, not part of the casino, actually gone there for some other reason, who's seen these, what he would consider what Charles Hall described. I had 2 limo drivers come forward, a couple of taxi cab drivers, a couple of other people. But what was funny about all of this was it was only one casino. There was nobody else from any other casinos but that one casino.
So that's what you would do. You would limit it to one casino.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's still, in all fairness, it still wasn't enough to convince me. And I'm not saying they weren't real. I'm not saying they are real. I don't know, to be honest. All I can say for sure is originally I didn't think this story was real. Later on, I thought maybe it could be real, or somebody spun up some people to help boost the story. Because over the years, we have suggested stuff to see if it would become viral and become a story that it shouldn't be. Because over the year we've had to break up a lot of fakes, because people make these big stories and they send out. Excuse me. They send all the stuff out there, and then all of a sudden, 50 people are saying they saw this, that, and when nothing really actually happened. Mm-hmm. It was a hoax. But people just jump on it for some reason. That's one of the damn problems. So if it wasn't troopers, I would say that's what happened in Vegas. Since it was 2 troopers, actually 2 troopers and 2 sheriffs, I'm on the board. I'm on the fence. I'm still not 100% sold that they were aliens, because these guys could have been mind probed just like anybody else. Maybe there was something went on there and they needed a cover up, and that's what they used was Charles Hall and this. Maybe, but since no one else has seen him or talked to him, or there doesn't seem to even be part of our government, I can't even find any information about him in the government. I got a lot of friends in the government these days, and I can't find anybody who knows anything about him in the government. And since I got friends at work out at area, not there, at Roswell and Los Alamos and the Boeing facility and a couple other facilities out there, I would think I would know. So, and they don't know when I ask them, and they're not lying to me. They're just, no, John, I've never even heard of that. So unless it's just, they all said it's just a spaceport we lend to them, so they can go back and forth. They're jumping to another arm in the Milky Way, and they come here in between. But the way they talk about having kids with them in groups there, it sounds like there's at least 2 aircraft there. I don't know. It's a 50-50 story. That's all I can tell y'all, people. There's about 5 interviews we did up there. There's even some interviews with the cops that are available on the Charles Hall thing. Go listen to it and think what y'all think yourselves. I've always been to the same thing. I don't think he was lying to me. At least I don't believe he thought he was lying to me. But after that point, I'm just not sure. There was things that made the case feel, I don't know, off. It never had the feel of an authentic case. It always felt like that they were trying to play us as a group. But if all they were looking for publicity, they got that. So I didn't personally have a problem with that. But what they said, or what Charles and him said, was the aliens were vicious. You had to be careful about talking to them. Don't approach your kids too fast; they'd kill you. They sounded like they weren't a real nice bunch of people. And according to the story, that's the reason he got to meet them, because the kids approached him and they liked him for some reason. Who knows? I wasn't there, so it's hard to say. I mean, he's a very nice, genteel guy. I don't think he does interviews anymore now. I think he's past his facilities. But again, I don't think he was trying to lie, and could have been something MK Ultra. It could have been a couple of things, actually. Glenn, you can get all 3 of his books. They're still available. Yeah. Excuse me.
Millennium Hospitality Suite.
Yeah, Millennium Hospitality. Yeah, so you can get them at 1, 2, and 3, and you can read them, and make your own thing. Since he's out of it, I haven't heard anybody else bring him up. Other than the conversation Sean and I are having right now, I haven't heard anybody talk about him. Period. I mean, really. I don't know. I really haven't. I mean, as far as I know, really and truly, we were the only ones that ever really talked about him, and that's only because we were doing interviews. His wife was very protective of him, so you did meet her. Yeah. Oh no, she was very. She liked me because I was very nice to him, and I was looking for the truth, and I even voice stressed him, and his voice stress was. I don't want to say it was inconclusive. It pointed to he was telling the truth, but there was things in it that suggested that maybe there was something else. Maybe there was some kind of interference. Maybe somebody did a little hypnosis. Maybe somebody gave him a little sodium pentothal, a little sodium anethol, and did some reprogramming. What are you talking about, Jenny? With those two drugs and the hypnosis, I could do any reprogram I wanted to do. I'd make you think you were a damn boy. And that's it's not even that hard. That's what's scary. Yeah, it's not even that hard. Just a certain couple little techniques, and then you can really take over some people's brains like that. It's because humans want to follow. In the end, we're a pack species. We're a pack. We want to be a pack. That's who we are. That's why we all live in cities instead of spread out all over the place. We want to be part of the pack, part of the herd. So being like that makes it easier for people to control you. No, because I don't want to be part of the herd. I want to be the fucking herd. What are you talking about? I like being a boss. No, I've always had problems with following. Yeah, I've never been a good let me follow blindly kind of person. It just doesn't suit my personality. Actually, I would say the majority of people on this network really are not followers. You could say they were followers because they're on my network, but that's not because of that. It's because of what we offer. So, what do you mean, Michelle? Michelle don't follow anybody. No, indeed not. Oh, I give her shit. Don't get me wrong, but she don't follow anybody. It's oh no, I would if the end of the world was coming, aliens would come, she'd come see me. Oh yeah, because I know more about it than she does. Anyway, guys, we got to get out of here. No, it's been fun and it went really fast. And for 5 weeks in a row now, since we started doing polls, or 6 weeks in a row now, Trump is still ahead. Even though Newsweek's polls would like you to think there's a fight for Wisconsin. Now remember, there's 6 swing states, actually 7, but he's winning all of them. But we're not going to talk about the other 6 or the other 5. But there's a thing going on in Wisconsin. Yeah, there was a thing. 5 weeks ago, Trump was winning it. 2 weeks ago, Trump was winning it. Last week, Trump was losing it. Last week, Trump hit tie, and this week he's winning it. Technically, he's winning it last week. Don't hate on me. I'm not doing these polls. These are Democratic polls. We were just saying a little while ago, when you see Democratic polls tilted red, there's problems, big problems. You're just going to have a hard time. So one of the polls we did, why would you vote for Joe Biden in opposition of Donald Trump? That was the answer. And a lot of the people are just not going to go vote. They're just not going to. It's just not worth it to them. Most of the Democrats I talk to already think Joe Biden's going to lose. So if you're defeated before you even get to the polls, I don't think you can motivate enough people. I think with the amount of Hispanics and blacks he's lost. So according to the Democrats themselves, if Trump takes more than 25% of the black vote, there is no way the Democrats can win. There's just not enough numbers for him to win. And they say he's going to easily take that. We'll see. We'll all be here on election night, screaming and hollering, being stupid. We even allow cocktails on election night. Yes, we usually start about 7 and go to midnight. Sometimes it's 6 and go to midnight. We start whenever the polls start rolling. We might be on air messing around, milling around, talking about shit, but we don't really start to work until the polls come in. And then the way we do it is each host is generally working off a different set of polls. So off of polling stuff. So, there'll be 7 or 8 hosts, there'll be 30 or 40 different polls, and we'll be watching them all night long. You mean last year, if I had to call the election, even though I already had said that Biden was going to win, if I would have had to call the election at midnight, I would have called it for Trump. Trump was ahead in everything. Everything. But then he lost. So if that happens this year, I will be very suspicious. No, last time I wasn't suspicious. This time I would be very suspicious. There was enough Trump hate out there that I didn't think he could win that election. This could be another record breaker. Trump could see 90 million votes. Holy moly, man. I know, huh? We'll see what happens. Sean's going to go vote. I'm going to go vote. I did say I was going to vote for Kennedy. I don't know. I might change. You never know. I might change my mind. We still have 5 months. What is this? June. So July, August, September, November. Oh, we ain't even got 5 months, do we? It's getting close.
A lot can happen in 5 months.
Oh, a lot can definitely happen. So we're about 4 months and about 2 weeks out. By the time they decide what they're going to do with Trump, so that'd be mid-July. So it'd be July to August, September to October. That would be three months. A little less than 3 months, actually, because November 2nd is the election. So it'd be like 2.5 weeks. 2.5 months. Do you know what kind of fury this sentencing can be? I've lived and seen a lot of strange shit in this country. This is the first time I've ever seen something inside the country that makes me nervous. It just makes me nervous. If he decides he wants to put Trump into jail, I don't know. First off, I don't know if Trump's going to go. Trump's in Florida. And Ron DeSantis ain't going to put him in jail. And I don't think you can be able to get him out of Florida. I'm pretty sure the Texas governor would send National Guard to Florida. I don't. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like is it a federal case or a New York case?
No, he said that. No, that's the only reason the statute got picked up, because it was a federal case, because the other case had run out. So
would the feds send somebody down there to seize him?
They would have to send the Rangers. And I don't.
You mean like the Army Rangers?
No, they'd have to send the police rangers, like the Texas Rangers, but there's another name for them, for the government.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't. There's actually another name for them, but yeah, you might get some New Yorkers that come down, but first off, you're gonna have to get into the hotel or wherever he's staying. You're gonna have to get. I imagine they're gonna be providing pretty serious security. And I would bet you that Ron and Mr. Texas would break out the National Guard. I don't. It'd be a tough one. Yeah, because nobody thinks this trial was fair. Nobody thinks it could ever be fair in New York. I've heard many judges say, why wasn't this held outside of New York? Because there's no way it could be a fair trial. So,
you mean the U.S. Marshal Service?
Yeah, the U.S. Marshal. That's what it is. Yeah. So they'd have to send the marshal down to get him. And there's marshal services in every state, but I don't know. I don't even know if they would go get him. Trying to drag Trump out of a hotel. And what, is Secret Service going to let him do it? I don't care who they are. If you try to put your hands on the president, I don't think Secret Service is going to let you do it. I don't, they've already tried to take a Secret Service away, and everybody said no. Even the Democrats were like, no. So what, are we going to have a shootout at the OK Corral to get the president? I don't know, people. I don't know. And if he does turn himself into jail and he ends up in the jail with his Secret Service, the country is going to flip. I mean, they're going to flip out. It's going to be bad. I think I live in the deep, deep, deep South, so I won't have to worry about it. But everybody else, man, I'd be worried. Well, the funny part is, Jennifer, the Fed pen is in Texas. That's where it's at. So they'd have to send him. They can't put him in a county jail or anything like that because it's a federal crime. They'd have to send him to the Fed pen in Texas. And do you really think Governor Abbott's going to leave Trump in jail in Texas? Come stay at my house, buddy. That'd be where you go to jail. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know. It's not fair to people, other people who will be getting cases like this because they won't be treated like this. But for any guy who's already questionable if this is politically related comes out and tries to put Trump in jail, I just don't think it's going to work the way they think it is. And then if they don't allow him to stay out of it, he can always ask the Supreme Court. Then he can override the other courts and just go directly to the Supreme Court. So that's something else they got to think about. Because if they're not going to let him stay out, because I think you got to wait like 30 days or something before you can do your first appeal. We'll find out. But even normal people, they just usually let out while they're on appeal. Rich people never go to jail while they're waiting. We're going to see. July 11th, everybody in the country will either be like, okay, or all right. And it also will it'll depend what Trump does, because if they give him like house arrest or ankle bracelet and let him go back to campaigning and run the country, he may not appeal it if he don't have to go to jail. I don't know why he wouldn't, but you never know with Trump. Anyway, we got to get out of here, guys and girls. Be sure you get out and vote in this election, whoever you're going to vote for. I don't personally care who you vote for, but get out and vote. Hit the button, vote. Because in this country, votes do count. And the more we get, the harder it is for the other guy to cheat. Whoever the other guy may be in this election. Because remember, this last election, we say the Democrats cheated. The last election, they said the Republicans cheated. Remember, Hillary swears there was some kind of ballot stuffing going on. Yes. Mike, you're a moron. We're never getting rid of that. We're not keep doing the popular vote instead of the no. It's not going to happen. No.
Just read, yeah.
We don't want, because we don't want California and New York presidents running our country. That's why. I think the heartland would go ape on y'all. They're worse than the South about this. Well, because in the heartland of our country, the middle of our country, not the South, not the North, the heartland, the Democrats don't even care about y'all. I mean, they don't. They're like, whatever. Who cares? Bunch of morons out there, factory workers and shit. They don't care. They care. In New York and California, they I did see that, Jimmy. I did see that 47-53 in New York. I did see that earlier. We'll see. When we get more polls in, we'll know if that's a valid number. But if Trump's pulling 47% right now, yeah, it's a good chance he'll take New York. What happens to Governor Hochul and a bunch of them if Trump takes New York? Oh, man. I did see they also got more Republican candidates last time around. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It wouldn't be the first time New York voted red, but it's been a long time. Well, with the country spreading out the way it is, Democrats are losing a little power because they're moving into states where they control cities like Austin and Houston, but not the major population that does the presidential vote. So Austin and Houston may be 5 million people, but the state that's 32 million people. And the majority of them are voting red. Yes. And Florida's hard because of Dade County. There's so many bluebies live in Dade County. The rest of the entire state is red, except for Dade County. But there's a lot of people live in Dade County, so. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm pretty sure he's going to take Florida and Texas and all, and I'm not worried about that. It looks like he's taking the other states. So, more than likely, ladies and gentlemen, on November 2nd of this year, Donald Trump, or November 3rd of this year, Donald Trump will probably be your new president. And we'll only have to watch Joe shit in his pants in another 3 months, and we'll have a new president. I do sometimes think it's what he's doing. I mean, I've watched him just stop in the middle of a driveway and his eyes get all bug-eyed. He just freeze and Joe Biden run the other way. Or like in the UN, he did that, and then somebody came and got him and pulled him off the stage before he got to shake hands. It's fishy. That's all I got to tell you. But we got to go. You got to be sure to come see Sean on Sunday. He's always causing some kind of mischief and trouble over there. It's like the naked hour with Sean or something. I don't know what he's doing over there. No, I don't go look, because if I look, I'd be in trouble.
One video was too risque for YouTube.
Yes, YouTube and
had
your
to remove
shit and bullshit. No, I'm here. I'll be here tomorrow because we're doing a Father's Day a day early special. Battlefield Earth on Arthur's Quill, yes. And we might even give some books away. I might give away one of those. Or I might have John send you one of those, because those are autographs, so you're not getting those. And then we'll be talking about just general stuff. Yes, and who's going to blow up what. No, we're not talking about that. No, sorry. Not on that show. We're not. On this show we can, but not on that show. No. I'd have so many people write to me. If I even mentioned a president candidate on that show, half the listeners would write to me and be pissed. Oh yeah, they'd be pissed. Well, we need the Electoral College. Without them, we don't. We get idiot for presidents. We get. Well, we'd have got Hillary Clinton.
Alexander Hamilton had it right in the Federalist number 10, the tyranny of the majority. You'd have a bunch of morons running the country. You'd have Kim Kardashian president faster than you could say Kim Kardashian.
Yes,
Could you imagine?
Yeah, because people don't always vote. They vote for whatever reason. I mean, somebody's popular. Like Obama got in because he's a very good speaker. Not because he wrote good speeches, because somebody wrote him for him, but he was very, very eloquent speaker. You would have never thought someone named Barack Hussein Obama would have been president of the United States, especially when we had just got out of a war with the Middle East. But yet he did become president. Mm-hmm.
Overthrowing Saddam Hussein.
Yes, that's right.
Barack Hussein Obama. Right. Obama, right.
Yeah, so it's a little weird, so sometimes just try to get you. Well, what got me about Obama was the fact he had, he'd only been a junior senator for 6 months. I really think, and I'll say this before we go, if the guy would have spent 6 years in the Senate, I think he might have been a decent president. He had some good ideas. He had some stupid ideas, but he had some good ideas. And if he could have implemented those good ideas, he might have made a good president. But he let people like Nancy Pelosi. When you go on television and you say shit like, pass it first and read it later, the whole country just cringes. And it don't matter what side you're on. It doesn't. When you hear that, you're like, what? You could be blue, red, pink. It doesn't matter. You're just cringing because one of your leaders just said, "Oh, don't read the bill. Pass the bill and then read it later." You know as well as I do, there was so much pork belly shit in that thing. That's why so much stuff got cut out of it. And then Obamacare became critical care, not health insurance. Health insurance is when you can go to your doctors and have little co-pays and little dollar prescriptions. No, little small deductibles of $500 or $1,000. No. Obamacare averages a $7,000 deductible, which means it's critical care. You only use it when you get in the hospital, and the first $7,000 don't get paid for. You got to pay for that. Yes, I don't know how they thought that was good insurance. I mean, it's only like $50 a month or $100 a month, but still, man. And if you need critical care, it's a good thing to have. My insurance is, I think, like Linda's through Humana, if I believe. If I could be wrong, it's been a while. Well, I'm old. I want insurance. Yes, Sean's getting old. He might need insurance. He got kids, young kids too. It's always good to have insurance with young kids because one of them might stick a dart in your leg or some shit. The other thing I'm playing, one of my good friends who was 7'2", he was messing with my son who was, like 2 foot at the time. I said, leave him alone. You aggravate him, he's going to hit you. He picked up one of my darts, one of my feathered 2BA stainless steel darts, and just stuck it in the dude's leg. Just, he did it kind of in a vicious way. He like stuck it and kind of went. I'm like, Joe, he's like, what? I was like, dude, I told you to leave the kid alone, didn't I? And he did. He buried it. I whooped his ass for that because he was wearing a diaper back then. No, I think he wasn't even. That means he was like 18 months or no, he wasn't even that old. Damn. See, I just let my little 1-year-old run around rampant. What can I tell you? You want to teach a kid how to speak? Put a Coke in front of him. Yeah.
Hmm.
His first words wasn't daddy and mom, it was Coke. And that's what made him get rid of his diaper and start walking was that damn Coke. I said, you can't have none if you wear a diaper. Big boys can't, So he got rid of it instantly. He wanted his Coke. People wasn't real Coke. It was watered down, looked like Coke. He didn't know. I'd pour his little Coke in a glass and dump some freaking water in it. Yeah, because I wanted him to keep his teeth. But anyway, that's enough about all that bullshit. If y'all get kids out there, take good care of your kids. Have fun with them. Because one day they're going to be older and aggravate the crap out of you. They're going to still love you and shit and bring you stuff, but they're still going to aggravate you. Because when they get older, they're like, really? Did you think that was a smart thing to do? Wait till they get to be about like 35. You're like, really? Okay, son, that was no. No, I love, what do you mean, Gene? No, I love my kid to death. He's 38. He'll be 39 in January. Shit, just tells you how old I am. He's a good kid. He's married, though. Nope, ain't made me granddaddy yet. I got great grandkids and great grandkids, but they're from the step side of the family. Yeah, but mine, he don't want to have kids. He's like, no, daddy, no kids. I don't know. Eventually, he will one of these days. I didn't want to have. Well, I had my first one, my only one, actually, at 24. It's the only one I wanted. I wanted one kid. I told my wife that I want one kid. That's it. If it's a boy, good. If it's a girl, well, it's just how it's got to be. That's just how it's going to be. I didn't. That's all I wanted. I know a lot of my friends have 3, 2 or 3. I thought about more, but yeah, one was enough. Well, I had stepkids. Remember, I had 4 stepkids. It's different for me. Last I checked, it said be fruitful and multiply. And we have multiplied to 8 billion, so maybe we need to slow down a little bit.
We're slowing down. It's just going to hit us faster than people anticipate.
I was going to go
as soon as the baby boomers start dying off, it's going to.
Oh yeah,
you'll see.
They go say go hang out with Bill Gates and his boys with eugenics and learn how the planet's going to go.
Yeah, China's already declining.
Yeah,
if they hit their max in like February of 2022 or something like that.
Yeah, if we would allow these guys we're talking about to have their way, the planet would be about half the size it is right now, population.
Oh, we'll be down to 500 million.
Well, Bill Gates had updated it. Yeah, he had updated. He had always said 500 million, but recently he changed that to 2 billion worldwide, meaning spread out, and each part of these groups should be in groups where they specialize in certain things. Well, rich people got to have their candy. They got to have their clothes. They got to have their food. They have their jewelry. They got to have their cars. They got to have their airplanes. They got to have somebody who works on all of them. Yeah, just because they're rich. Well, AI can only do so much, and then they're limited unless you build robots for all the AIs, and then that's getting a little dangerous even for rich people. Yeah, the AIs might think you stinking rich people need to go bye-bye. I'd be careful with that. But on that note, we got to go, guys. Don't forget to come check out Sean and Sunday. Catch me on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. No, Sean will be with us next. We're just cutting in trouble. No, the other Sean was out taking a rest tonight. Leah goes back and forth because she's messing with her phone. No, Jay was been up since 6. Yeah. Shh, but he's pregnant. Don't tell him. Don't tell him I know he's pregnant, okay? No, really, people. He's like one of Elon Musk's experiments. We just haven't told him yet. That's all. Well, we don't want to break his little heart, Having twins could be rough at his age. I'm just saying. Anyway, we got to go. Y'all have a good night. Wait for Scott back. You're a son of a biscuit eater.
I love it.
Anyway, wait for Spaced Out Radio
Dave Scott.
with Dave Scott. Well, you said the next time I see him, that's what I'm gonna call him, right? I can just see it coming now. Wait, I've been on Dave. He's been on this network for 5 years. Yeah,
he's gonna be quantum leaping through the computer at you.
Yes, Dave's okay guy. Yeah, he's a liberal, but he's an okay guy. He's a Canadian. Almost all Canadians are liberals, except for a handful. Well, before we go, that's something Trump said he wanted to do was annex Canada. And this all started because one of our generals said that we just need to go ahead and annex the coastlines of all of Canada so we can set our people there, because Canada does not know how to protect its borders. And this is something that's actually in Congress. So there's something to do with the Americas that the United States can annex parts of Mexico and Canada just like we did in Cuba. The Canadians ain't going to go for it, people. I don't know what they're going to do about it, but they're going to throw some tomatoes at us or some shit. But no, they let us build our Ghost fleet up there. Yeah. In their harbor. It was hiding in their harbor, yeah. Something to do with, I don't know, you'd have to go check. There was a big drawn-out story about it. But they said a lot of our Ghost fleets during the winter times will safe harbor in Canada. Well, that paint they're using kind of looks like a grayish white, so you can have a hard time seeing it anywhere around ice. And that one with the pontoons, or the two with the pontoon, they're pretty fast. And they're supposed to carry hypersonic missiles. High-speed craft, hard to see, with hypersonic missiles. And remember, they're unmanned. So even if you lose all your missiles, you can ram the damn thing into something. Like the Ukrainians keep doing. Yeah, exactly. But on that note, good night. Stay tuned for Spaced Out Radio. I hope y'all enjoy. I have no idea what he's talking about tonight. Dave is always up to some kind of strange and weird stuff. He's always up to some kind of strange and weird stuff. I'm just being honest with y'all. But a lot of times he's got some good ufologists, and a lot of times he's got his own people on, but a lot of times he's got some good people on there. And he tries sometimes. In the old days, he used to try to shadow Coast to Coast, but it's hard. For the first 15 years I did radio, Coast was always using our guests. Our guests were always on within 2 days of being on our show on Coast to Coast. Because we had good guests and we had good shows. Besides that, for Coast, it's like a preview. Like Lisa Line and them can always take a look at a guest that might be sketchy. They can watch them on another show with a professional host and see what comes out. Yes. You want to be on Coast to Coast? Write to Lisa Line. Or I think her name's Stephanie. Just go on the website and then put in a thing. Somebody always reads it. Tom or somebody will read it. And if you're convincing enough, they'll invite you on. Or there's a secret. If you can get like 100, 120 people just to write to them saying, can you please bring this person on? They'll bring you on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've got many people on that way. Anyway, I got to go. Good night, everyone. Stay tuned for Mr. Spaced Out Radio himself. Don't forget to come see Sean on Sundays. Come see me tomorrow and enjoy your lives. Have some fun. Stay out of trouble. Vote for the right guy this time. Okay? I'm not going to tell you who, but vote for the